These are my pre-debate thoughts. Weird. I'm not used to having headphones, so my voice kind of sounds muttered from my end. Very strange. I'm gonna have to try and get used to that. But, pre-debate thoughts. Okay, so, as you may or may not know, I've known, James pretty well. In fact, the whole Talking with ComboKiller series is him. I know him pretty... I would say really well, so I have a feeling of what a lot of his arguments are going to come down to. It's also the fact that he likes TLJ, so it doesn't necessarily surprise me that he likes BvS, but his arguments are probably going to be mostly about themes. I can guarantee that. I can see that coming from a mile away. It's going to be about themes. He's going to compare it to the Marvel movies a lot. I'll try my best to knock him back on course, because I don't want this debate to be about Marvel, because I don't like Marvel. He doesn't like Marvel. What's the point? And besides, that's not the thing that, that's not the focus of this debate. The focus is BvS, specifically about BvS's criticisms and the whole movie as a whole. So, yeah, that's my pre-debate thoughts. I hope I'm gonna do well. I don't know. By the way, I'm trying to wear headphones because, the audio is pretty poor. You get, like, an echo, and it's getting to such a point where my audio is getting really fuckery. So, I don't want that. Alright. Okay, let's do this. I'm pumped. I'm, like, really pumped. This is exciting. First BvS debate, second recorded debate, and it's been like a few months since I did my CRP gamer debate, so I'm excited. Whew. Hey, you there?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Oh my god.
We did it. Hey, there's always like some sort of problem that ends up fucking us up. I have no idea why. I think it's like a curse, to be honest, at this point.
Yeah, it's the podcast highlight curse.
I am totally not afraid to take advantage of that. Okay. All right.
Okay.
So.
All right. So where do we start?
Yeah, that is a very good question. Where do we start? So, okay. So before I go into this, I really badly want to hear your thoughts, how you came to dislike it, to like it. I would like to see how you made that kind of jump and see what arguments you're using exactly before we start this whole thing off. Oh, and before, and also there are probably going to be some new people since I'm going to put this under a debate category. So, if you don't mind also introducing yourself, that would also help. So.
Okay. Do I use my username or what?
Username, real name doesn't matter to me.
Okay. Give me a second, I'm fucking tired right now. So, I'm James. I've decided I like BvS now. So, let me see. So you want me to talk about, like, how I went from hating it to liking it, right?
Yeah, I would really like to hear that thought process.
Okay. So, there's a lot of things that led to me giving both Batman vs. Superman and Man of Steel another shot. Ever since BvS came out, I immediately hated it for a variety of reasons. One of two major ones is that the plot felt incredibly hard to follow and very flimsy, and the pacing was really, really fucking awful in that movie, as well as the editing. That's probably the theatrical cut of BvS was probably one of the worst edited movies I've seen in a long time, and there was never any room for the story to breathe. There was never any it was just as bare bones ass blasting through plot points until we get to the end. And I felt like that was a really big detriment to the movie because that didn't allow those big moments that they wanted to have. They didn't hit very hard because again, there's no room for that moment to kind of sit there and breathe. There's no room for, those emotions to kind of gestate and kind of, you to kind of chew on what you're thinking about or what you're looking at, because it's just blasting through it trying to get to the next part. So the editing and pacing are particularly bad, and because of that as well, like in part of that, the plot line felt very hard to follow. On top of that, back when it first came out, right before it released, I had read a fucking shit ton of Batman comics and Superman comics. The Batman comic that I ended up liking the most that I read was Batman Hush, and also the one that I ended up liking the least was Dark Knight Returns, so that proved an ill omen for that. And then the Superman comic that I liked the most was All-Star Superman, because it reminded me a lot of like Christopher Reeve's Superman, but kind of taken to like its logical endpoint, right? With how powerful he was. And I really did not like BvS from like a concept standpoint when it came out, because to me it felt like, well, for one, this was the first time that we had seen Batman and Superman on the big screen together, right? This was their I'm starting a team called the Avengers moment, right? Excuse me. And like, to me, using that moment, using your Avengers moment to give us not the traditional Batman and Superman, but to give us these like kind of deconstructed, weird, like not quite right versions of them, was to me a really bad idea. And like it felt like my initial reaction was that they're trying to cram too much shit into the movie. Zack Snyder hates Superman because he refuses to let him just be Superman, and he really has a hard-on for Frank Miller's Batman, but doesn't understand why shit like Death of Superman or Dark Knight Returns and shit like that like worked, like what was the context around them, right? He just like cherry-picked moments that he thought were really cool from them and then like slapped them together and made a movie out of it. That was my initial impression of it, kind of coming out of it on release back in 2016. And I had very firmly stood by the fact that that movie fucking sucks, and that Man of Steel wasn't much better, and that the whole DC universe is complete dog shit, and then like they should just stop and take like 5 years off and then come back later. The initial thing, and to me it was because they had strayed. I'm like not talking right today. It's because they had strayed too far from the core of what I felt made Batman, and Superman, you know? And you actually had a part to play in me coming to like this, because you had said to me, like a long time ago when we were talking about this before, where you didn't think that there could be a point where something becomes so unrecognizable that it stops being that property, right? Like you were arguing that, like...
Oh no, I think I know what you're talking about. You're talking about that time that we discussed about DMC and how...
Right. Where it was like there's no point, like DMC is still DMC, it's just a different type of Devil May Cry game. That, like, the BvS Superman is still Superman, it's just a different type of Superman.
Yeah.
And you can't really...
Yeah, well...
You can't really, like, morph it so much to where it can't, like, it stops being that thing.
Yeah, for the most part, I still pretty much stand by that statement, and that I would say that none of my criticisms, especially when going over and looking over and researching and rewatching it and all that other stuff, I still don't find that to be an issue. My problem isn't that Batman kills. My problem isn't that he's a gritty Superman. It's just that there's a lot of things that doing it, of how they did it in the film, that leads to most of my problems. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, I got you. And definitely a lot of it comes down to execution, and I will say that the movie's not perfect. Even though I definitely like the ultimate cut, there are still moments where I feel like they could have done that better. They could have, there's some way that they could have done that to where it didn't come off as like clunky, right? There are some parts of the execution that leave some to be desired. But my main problem when I came out of it was, with the theatrical version, was edited like shit, jumping all over the place, plot made no sense. And then also the concept of, like, hey, so why don't we just deconstruct the fuck out of these characters? And so, you talking to me about that kind of planted that seed in my head. And then later, actually this year, in the middle of the whole Last of Us 2 fit throwing, where everyone decided to fucking piss themselves in rage because the story in Last of Us 2 didn't go exactly the way that they wanted it to. To me that was kind of an eye-opening kind of moment to me, because it was like, look, this is Neil Druckmann's game. If you don't like it, then you can go fuck yourself. Like, they're not going to remake the game for you. They're not going to give you a different version of the game. Like, what you get for being a fan of the first game? You get to buy the second game. Go fuck yourself, right? Like, and, I'm putting that, like, way more aggressive than it probably should be. But just to me, like, the idea of creative liberty and, like, creative ownership, like, The Last of Us is Neil Druckmann's game series, right? And similarly, it made me think about Batman versus Superman, where it felt like for everything that it does, it is undeniably Zack Snyder's baby. Like, those two movies, Man of Steel and BvS, like, scream Snyder. They are his versions of Superman and Batman, And I thought that was interesting, especially considering that, you have shit happen like with Ant-Man, where the first
Ant-Man.
director everyone's favorite movie. But like, you have shit with Ant-Man where it was like, who was originally going to direct that? I think it was going to be Edgar Wright who was going to direct Ant-Man.
Yes, you are correct in saying that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they kicked him off because of creative differences. They hired a fucking rent-a-director who would just follow orders and then shit out Ant-Man, and then there it is, right? Same thing happened with Solo, with Star Wars, where they were going to get the guys who did the Lego movie, and it was going to be like this weird-ass, like, fourth wall breaking kind of thing. And then Disney decided, nope, fuck that. So then they, again, booted them out, hired a rent-a-director, and then just said, make fucking movie 102-A. And then they did. And then it was Solo. And then it sucked. So I think right now in this world where, like, everything feels homogenized and everything kind of, like, bends itself into a pretzel in the name of, like, fan service and, like, oh, look at Thing. You recognize Thing. Clap, you sheep. Right? I think it's interesting. I think it's refreshing, actually, much more in 2020 than it was in 2016, or even 2013 in Man of Steel's case, to see somebody have a very, very specific vision and concept for who this character is to him, right? And so I didn't decide to give BvS a try then, but it was definitely kind of lingering in my mind during the whole Last of Us 2 thing. And then finally, when the trailer came out, like a week, 2 weeks ago, week and a half, I don't fucking know. But like when the trailer came out for the Snyder Cut of Justice League, I watched it, and I was not expecting to be impressed. I was expecting to be like, oh, like eye roll, here we go again. But I was actually like impressed. Like I was actually kind of hyped at the end of that trailer for that movie because it looked so different, and it didn't look like a fucking cheap TV show, like the theatrical version of Justice League did. And like, fucking this shit with Justice League, right? We have a director with a vision. People got mad at his last movie, so they boot him out. And then, again, hire a rented director and then just make him just shit out random gray sludge movie, right? Bare minimum, template, paint-by-numbers superhero movie out the door, right? So, and again, seeing his vision, right? Seeing somebody with a specific idea for how he wanted this universe to go, seeing him get that chance again to realize his version of Justice League, the fact that it is going to be a 4-hour miniseries, like with 4 episodes, 1 hour each, right? So it's not going to be chopped to hell and squished down into 2.5 hours when it can't do that. And, you know, like seeing him get his moment, like, was kind of again, another like kind of eye-opening thing for me where I was like, wow, it was refreshing to see, like, oh dude, it's like Zack Snyder doing his like weird ass like Greek mythology fucking fantasy epic Justice League thing. That sounds cool. And so after seeing that and after being genuinely impressed with that trailer, and being kind of re-interested in the DC universe again, I decided to go back with his previous ones. I watched both of them on the same night, back to back. I don't even think I like took a break in between. It was just all right, finish that one, throw in the next one. So just 5.5 hours of movie straight. So that was really tiring. But I finished them both, and I came away really, really liking them a lot more. And I think it's because I understood that vision more. I felt that it was refreshing. I understood the concept that they were going for. It wasn't, going back to my original criticisms, it wasn't that like Zack Snyder hated Superman. It was that he wanted to make him a human, right? Like a person with all of these powers instead of like an alien god, right? Everyone sees him as an alien god, but he's really just a guy who can do crazy shit. And me coming from like All-Star Superman, that was not the kind of Superman that I was looking for. It's much more Smallville and less All-Star Superman in his execution of it. But so, like, Man of Steel is fine on its own. Like, I don't feel like even the theatrical version was fine. I thought the pacing was a little weird, where it was like 2 hours of nothing, where it was like just kind of character shit, and then like 30 minutes of like complete sensory overload at the end. But whatever. I felt like in terms of like the story it was telling, it built everything up and like explained everything really well. There isn't a whole lot thematically going on, I don't feel like, with Man of Steel. It's mainly like General Zod's a fascist. He's a fucking giant space fascist. Fascism bad, and like Superman is still trying to figure out this whole Superman thing. So, but I thought it really got interesting with BvS, and the first thing that I really, really liked coming back to it was seeing Batman in Metropolis during the like General Zod attack, right? Seeing it, so okay, like, so, and this is going to be like a running theme, right? So this is just going to be me dunking on Marvel for like 2 hours, so you better be ready. So like in a Marvel movie, like you would see, oh, somebody was like, other character that you recognize was there, and then all that plot point is there to serve is to go, look, it's Thing from other movie that you should also go see, right? And that's the beginning and end of it. It's a function of franchise maintenance, right? And but in BvS, even though it is like, oh, dude, it's thing you like, it's thing you recognize, it's serving a thematic purpose in addition to being a shared universe plug. So because this shot is Batman's entire motivation for what he's doing for the entire movie, right? And I like how they set that up immediately, and I felt like it was a really strong way to show like why, right? Because we know like, oh man, Batman shouldn't kill Superman, but like
So far,
if you're on the
everything I said is
ground
coming
and you're
to
seeing him in
fruition.
this General Zod attack and like all of the shit that is happening and all of the like mass death and destruction that's going on just from like a human perspective and not from a, you know, flying Kryptonian perspective, it's a very different feeling, right? When you're watching it. And you know, in that moment, right, when, you know, like the building's fucking crashing down and everyone's running away, but like Bruce is fucking charging into that shit, you definitely get that like, fuck, Superman's scary kind of feeling, you know. And I thought that set the tone for like not only Batman's motivation but for kind of the whole movie. I thought it set the stage for that really well. And you know, I don't really want to go through the entire plot of the movie. Like, I don't just want to recount, like, and then this happened, and this happened, and this happened. But, so, for Batman, so I guess we'll just talk about Batman. Batman, in this movie, like, at first I didn't feel like it would make sense that he would just be, like, I feel like I'm not the only one who said this either, but, like, why is the world's greatest detective saying if there's even a 1% chance that he is our enemy, we have to take it as an absolute certainty? Alright, like, that's... like,
gonna address this point?
It felt like he didn't really do any investigation into Superman or anything. He's just like, well, he's evil now. So...
Yes.
So to me, what I understood about it this time, whereas I didn't understand that before, is, like, this is the Batman that's lost literally everything. Right? This is the most cynical, jaded, angry fucking Batman that we've probably had on screen, right? Robin is dead.
Wait. Okay, stop right there. There's a lot of things that you just said, but let's just start off with that first part, or what you just ended off with that last part. Him being old, like bitter Batman that kills or whatever, that's gone through heartbreak, all of that stuff, fine. I don't care, and that's not necessary to what the 1% chance line was talking about. Just because he's bad and has some evil background, I don't think that gives him motivation enough to kill Superman.
Well, no, what I'm saying is that, like this Batman this is the most cynical fucking asshole Batman. So then if you take this person who has lost all faith in humanity, who feels that what he's doing is fucking pointless, and... like, all this Batman shit that I've done is for naught. All it's done is get Robin killed. It didn't change anything. Gotham's still a fucking shithole. If you take that guy who has nothing to lose and then show him a fucking god fucking destroy a city with single-handedly, basically, in his mind, to me that would be, like, the moment where you're like, I have to do something.
Yeah, but that's the problem. That's exactly my problem, is that Superman, other than the collateral damage, which he was saving people, by the way, while he may have killed tons of people, it's still...
Believe me, I know. Here, say that again, you cut off for a second.
Okay, so... My
Aside
point
from
is,
collateral damage.
Yes, collateral damage, he's still saving people. He is still working with people on the daily. We get a whole montage of him just saving people, okay?
No.
This is a Superman that is, other than the collateral damage part, is pretty perfect, I would say. So I don't think that gives Batman a reason to kill him.
It doesn't, well... in the larger plot, yes, but from his perspective, right? Because, like, let's be clear, in terms of this movie, I think Batman is the villain. Until, like, Lex Luthor just starts fucking around and making Doomsday. But for most of the movie, the antagonist is Batman. And I also think that this is one of those cases where everyone everyone is the hero of their own story, right? And the antagonist is somebody else's, right? So Batman doesn't think that he's doing the wrong thing. He thinks he's completely justified, even if we know that, yeah, he's saving people. We have that montage. We see him, like, doing all this good shit, right? He doesn't see that. And this is also because this is the Batman that doesn't even have faith in human beings, let alone a fucking god from another planet who can just destroy the Earth, right? So, from his perspective, this is a threat. No matter what his intentions are, the fact that he is here and he can do this is a problem, right? And, like, this is his chance to do something that might actually be meaningful, because obviously handling fucking criminals and shit isn't for him, right? If you, like, what was that fucking line? Like, criminals are like weed, you pull one up and 20 more sprout in their place and shit like that. Like, to me, like, his entire motivation is like, this is my chance to do something that means something in the grand scheme of things, right? Again, that doesn't make sense logically.
No, it doesn't.
But from his perspective, emotionally, for his character, that to me makes plenty of sense, right? And, you know, it's like, from a high concept angle, it's that this, like, the story for Batman is Batman has no moral lines left to cross. He's branding people, he's killing people, he's got guns and shit. The only moral line that Batman has left to cross is basically to kill Superman. It's to kill God in this, if we're going to use the movie's metaphors, right?
Well, I don't even know if that's technically supposed to be God in this scenario, because while there is a lot of Christ-like imagery, Lex refers to Superman as the devil many times, and then also mentions that Doomsday is the devil, and the themes are really complicated.
So, well, yes, Lex Luthor calls him the devil, but he also, you know, God bends to my will now and shit like that. So, and also, like, all the Christ shit.
So then, which is it?
Lex Luthor is interchangeably using God and devil in reference to Superman.
How does that make any sense now? They're totally different people.
Let me finish my sentence. It's using those two because they're supposed to be polar opposites, even if, you know, when you look at the Bible, that's not really the case. But the popular understanding of God and the devil is that they are the equal opposite, right? One is the ultimate good, one is the ultimate evil. It's basically using them interchangeably to say that God is evil. This Superman, this all-powerful being that everyone says is good, is not good. He is a threat. He is evil. That is the reason of using those two interchangeably in reference to Superman from Lex Luthor's case. And this is only with him.
Yeah, but why doesn't he just make the case that God is evil instead of using the devil and God interchangeably, which just makes it more confusing?
Because we want purple poetry, bro. We want some, like, crazy, like, hashtag deep lines, okay? That's why. Also because Lex Luthor...
I don't think that's a good enough excuse.
Well, also, this is... like... So, also, keep in mind of who Lex Luthor is as a character. That he is this, like, self-absorbed, fucking fedora-tipping, pretentious asshole who, when he's giving a speech for donating to a library, he's trying to talk about fucking Prometheus and, like, being punished by you know, fucking the other gods and shit. Like, the person who, like, this kind of person who he is, the person who, like, hangs fucking pictures of angels and demons on his fucking wall and talks about the red capes are coming. This kind of pretentious asshole would be the kind of person who is self-absorbed enough and up his own ass to think that to be making giant statements like, do you know the oldest lie in America is that power can be innocent? You know, God bends to my will, blah, blah, blah. All of that shit. That fits with that character's personality, with who he is.
Yeah, but what's the motivation of creating Doomsday if he was going to have Batman and Superman fight anyway?
He was going to do it. He had Doomsday as a failsafe in case Batman didn't do it. And so he decided to have Doomsday do it since Batman and Superman decided to team up.
Yeah, but why does he want to kill Superman?
Because he has a thing about God, because his dad punched him. So he's
Yeah,
an
but this
abused
is never
child.
shown in the movie, so...
Yeah, but we hear about it.
So we're supposed to
So
believe
okay.
that he is going after Superman because his dad punched him and was abusive? How does that connect to Superman?
So if you... because it's the thing of, if God is good, why is this happening to me? And he's taking out his issue with, why did bad things happen to me? Again, on Superman. Even if it's misplaced, and it's supposed to be misplaced, it's the idea of, why didn't he save me, kind of thing. And so the person who
yeah, but we're
has
never
that
shown
problem,
this. Yeah, we're never shown this.
okay,
really
so do you want another fucking 15-minute flashback of Lex Luthor getting punched as a kid?
That's not what I asked for at all.
So okay. Are you wanting a scene of Lex Luthor getting abused by his father?
I want a scene of why he hates Superman so much.
We have that scene of why he hates Superman, and that
Why?
is on the tower when he explains his motivation.
Okay, so what is his motivation? Because his dad beat him?
Because, okay, it's... the line he said is that if God is all-powerful, then he cannot be all good. And if he is all good, he cannot be all-powerful. If you can be anywhere, do anything, and save anybody, then you are choosing who lives and who dies. And he is saying that, and he's using as the example that, like, if there is a God, then why did he let my father abuse me and treat me like shit and beat me? And he is saying, and he is using that comparison to say that Superman cannot be all good. Superman is because he's clearly fucking incredibly powerful. So he's obviously choosing who lives and who dies in his mind.
But he doesn't do this. Again, we're like
Again, okay.
Here's the issue.
So,
you keep saying
look,
that from his perspective, like there's
yes, because
some
this
issues.
entire thing is about perspective. Yes, we know as the viewer that Superman isn't all evil, that he is saving people, that he is good, right? But they don't. This entire storyline is about people's differing perspectives on Superman. Because nobody fucking knows what to make of him.
Yeah, but why is making up arguments better for their motivation, though?
That's not making up arguments. That's called character motivation.
Well, you're taking information that is outside of Superman, like his father, Lex's father, and Batman's previous history with everybody else. How does that make any sense? Instead of actually showing, like, necessary criticisms with Superman.
So how does people's backstory influence their perspective? Is that what you're asking me?
Close, I guess. Here, but keep on going. I'll see if you're close or not.
Because all of their reasons, all of their origins, all of the shit that has led them to the point of I hate Superman is shown. We hear Lex Luthor's motivation. We see Batman's motivation. We understand because of who they are, not because here's the thing, right? We are seeing this from Superman's perspective and Batman's perspective. And we're also hearing Lex Luthor's perspective at the end. We, as the audience, because we are seeing Superman, because we are familiar with Superman as a character outside of this movie, because we know Superman from Man of Steel, we understand that he is a good guy. We understand that he is not a threat. We understand that he is just trying to do the right thing. And that is his perspective, right? His entire thing is, I want to do the right thing, but everybody is afraid of me. That is his entire fucking character struggle through most of this movie, is what do I do because everyone seems to have a problem with me saving people.
Well,
right?
then everybody else that hates Superman just comes off like an idiot instead of actually having criticisms with him.
Okay, except look at if you want validity, of this kind of panic that surrounds Superman, just look at all the hissy fit throwing when Man of Steel came out about Superman doing collateral damage. Everyone and their mom was bitching about how Superman destroys the city, and he didn't save anybody. He just punches everything and destroys shit. Because the general public does not care. The general public sees the city get destroyed, and they blame it on Superman. Even the audience who saw Man of Steel blamed Superman for the attack. Okay? Real life people. Because the general public are idiots. Okay? And again...
So does that mean Lex and Batman are supposed to resemble the general public? Is that what you're saying?
They are members of the general public. They are members of a third party who did not see the Black Zero event from Superman's perspective. Again, we know that he's good. We know that he was trying to save people because we followed him through that. We saw in Man of Steel the Black Zero event through his perspective.
Yeah, but even looking outside of that perspective, we know that Superman's actions haven't been evil so far. Again, the only thing that is going against him is his collateral damage, and that's it. And maybe the dream sequence.
Except also that Superman's been framed for a fucking failed fucking CIA sting operation in the Middle East.
Yes, which any investigation would show that there is bullets in the bodies, and no one would let to believe that, especially Batman.
Yes, except, okay, and this is where the theatrical version and the extended cut differ, is because in the theatrical version, yes, I had the same issue where it's like, why are you trying to blame Superman alone for this shit going on in the Middle East when obviously there are bullets in people's bodies. He can't do that. They're not saying that Superman is acting alone. They're saying that Superman was involved with this CIA sting operation that went south that resulted in casualties that did not need to be there. And he was not supposed to be there. They're not saying that there was nobody with guns on the scene. What they're saying is that Superman came in while they were doing the sting operation and fucked everything up. And what they're doing to plant that is by burning all the bodies with the flamethrower to make it look like heat vision.
Okay, and you're going where with this exactly?
Because the idea of we know that Superman isn't being evil. Okay, well, Lex Luthor is actively trying to twist the public's image, the public's perception of Superman even further than it already is muddled by framing him for shit going on in the Middle East, for saying that he just came in, fucked up a CIA operation, and resulted in further casualties than needed to be.
But wouldn't, at the end of the day, wouldn't Superman be praised because the people that did get killed, for like the most part, like a lot of the people there were pretty bad people? Except
he also had people lying and saying that he killed villagers, that the soldiers that were lit on fire weren't the only people.
Yeah, but
he was blackmailing that person to lie before court under threat of death to lie about Superman.
Yeah, and then she dies at the end, and that's the end of that plot line. Yeah, it's great.
Except that's a piece of the larger framing plot. Her dying is just a part of the frame plot. It's part of the Lex Luthor plot. So this isn't just like, oh, now that's stopped. It's a piece of a larger puzzle. And that puzzle being Lex Luthor trying to fucking kill Superman.
I kind of get where you're coming from. I think. I don't...
I mean, here's the thing. Here's what I don't understand. I don't understand how the idea of people's perspective, even if it's not completely 100% logical, because here's the thing. Your perspective isn't logical. Every single human being's perspective is always skewed based on their experiences, their pasts, right? Even if the facts are against what they're saying. So I don't understand why the idea that Lex Luthor and Batman's skewed perspectives because of their pasts influencing what they think of Superman and what they are willing to do to stop him. I don't understand why this is that hard of an idea to grasp.
Because we're viewing this as the outside audience. We're not viewing it from Lex Luthor's perspective. We're not viewing it by Batman's perspective. Yeah, there's bits and pieces of it now and again, but we're not fully getting that perspective.
We are fully getting Batman's perspective. The movie is primarily about Batman and Superman. We hear Lex Luthor's motivations, so yes, we're not seeing it completely from his perspective, but we understand his like weird I hate God thing. And now he's taking that and fucking taking it out on Superman, right? And then from Batman's perspective, we are seeing him and Alfred discuss this. Alfred trying to convince Bruce Wayne that he's not the enemy. This isn't the issue. Him reiterating that I've already made up my decision. He can wipe out the entire human race. All of this shit, right? And again, the fucking frame job with the Middle East was even working on Batman, who was getting pissed off about at the Senate hearing, right? So all of these, and yes, we're seeing it from multiple people's perspectives, but that doesn't mean that all of a sudden that means that these characters should have knowledge from another character's perspective.
Okay, so if we are seeing it from Batman's perspective, wouldn't you feel like they should have fleshed that out more as to why he hates Superman?
Isn't that like half of the movie? Like, okay, first of all, again, right at the fucking beginning, we see Batman on the ground level seeing the attack, right? Seeing all the destruction, right? That is his inciting incident where he hates Superman now.
But even though there caused collateral damage, he was still doing the right thing.
Yes, we know that. Because
how does Batman not know that though when there was Zod going around and killing a bunch of people?
Because he wasn't fucking sitting here looking at the fucking.
But when the news tell this? And when basic detective skill figure this out?
Except that here's the thing, the news is sitting here just wondering if Superman's dangerous or not. The news isn't reporting that. The news is reporting that fucking Metropolis got leveled, and the only one and fucking Superman was involved. This alien that we don't know what the fuck they're doing.
This information is countered when Batman when him and Superman are having that first discussion when they're Bruce Wayne and Clark. Bruce mentions the fact that how the news media, the Daily Planet specifically, post a lot of good things about Superman and that type of life.
So then what about all the other fucking news outlets that exist out there that we keep seeing all the time? Because Daily Planet might be blowing smoke up Superman's ass, but CNN probably isn't.
Okay, but how does that still change the fact that Superman saved lives by killing Zod?
That doesn't. I'm saying that it doesn't matter that he did. They aren't seeing it that way. They are only seeing the collateral damage. And yes, we know that he is doing the right thing. They don't. And that is why their perspectives are skewed.
But wouldn't basic knowledge know that Zod was trying to kill everyone and Superman stopped said villain?
For us, because we saw Man of Steel. The general public, Batman didn't fucking see the conversation between Superman and Zod inside Superman's fucking head on the ship about, I'm gonna fucking destroy fucking Earth and build kryptonite on top of it. And then Superman goes, no, don't do that.
There was a giant machine. There was a giant
public didn't see that.
There was a giant machine that was killing people.
Oh my god. Yeah, and also, no, there was no fucking telephone message from Zod going, hey, by the way, this is me. The only message that General Zod had in contact with
but why would Superman do it and then turn around and save people?
Because they don't know who he is. We know he's good because he's Superman, because we know about Superman from outside media. To them, this is dude in a red cape who is here now, and now the city is destroyed. They don't have a message from Zod twirling his mustache in their face, going, haha, now I'm going to destroy you with my world engine. The only contact Zod had with the human public was the initial broadcast saying,
But
Give
we
us
have
Superman.
eyewitnesses. We have eyewitnesses showing that Superman was destroying the machine. Wouldn't that be enough to at least tell, maybe he's a good guy, and he saves people on the daily?
Except we had eyewitnesses in Metropolis seeing a military ship crash into it, and then it gets sucked into a black hole. The Superman was fucking crashing the other part of the machine on the other fucking side of the world, in the middle of the fucking ocean.
Okay, but what about the one in Metropolis?
The one in Metropolis was dealt with by the military.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Never mind. It's been a while since I haven't seen Man of Steel.
And this is why I watched them both back to back. But, again, we as the audience understand that Superman's good. Batman doesn't. Lex Luthor doesn't. The general public doesn't. Because they only see the collateral damage.
Okay, but let's take that from that standpoint, that we're coming from the audience's perspective and they're all stupid. How does that make for a good motivation, though, to destroy Superman from our perspective? Doesn't that just make it worse, more confusing?
Because this is a person who can do whatever he wants. He is not bound by law. If he gets arrested, he can just uncuff himself. He has fucking laser vision and can fly. He's not even bound by the rules of gravity. Any human being who saw that in real life would see that as a threat.
Yeah, but he isn't threatening. That's the problem. He hasn't done anything threatening. He's at worst, he's caused collateral damage, which was for the greater good.
I don't know why. I don't know. How do I explain this in any simpler way? Like, I'm trying to figure out how to say this.
Okay, while you think about that,
because
can we move? Oh, never mind.
No, we're not. We're gonna put this point away before we go on. Yes, Superman did collateral damage. Yes, Superman was also trying to save lives. Yes, he did stop the world engine and ended up, stopping the fucking genocide of humans, right? But these are all things that we know about because we saw Superman's conversations with Zod and with Lois and with a bunch of other military guys who, by the way, died. And also the military would probably keep the, details of this under wraps as much as they could because they don't like, just putting all their shit out there. And dude on the ground doesn't know that. He doesn't know that it's called the fucking world engine. He doesn't know that it's got a phantom drive. He doesn't know that there's another one on the other side of the world in the middle of the fucking ocean.
But he saw that
making
there was
the gravity do shit.
He saw that there was at least another Kryptonian that Superman was clearly fighting with. Wouldn't you put 2 plus 2 together that Superman was trying to stop? And based off his previous actions of him saving people, we know that he probably has the best of tents. I mean, it's just basic common knowledge.
Okay, except, do you know that guy's evil? You, as a human being who has no prior knowledge of Superman whatsoever, sees on the TV somebody say, "I'm General Zod. You are hiding a fugitive on our planet, from my world. Give him to us." And then you see later that guy fighting with other random dudes that you don't know who they are. Do you think that he's going, and you see a random spaceship in the air that you don't know belongs to General Zod because you don't know what that thing is. You don't know what it's doing. It's just blowing shit up, and then we see Superman punching people through buildings. And then what?
That doesn't mean that Superman is evil.
I'm not saying that he is evil. I'm saying that these people's perspective on him is that. Again, it's about perspective.
But the average person knows that Superman saves a lot of people. And in that montage,
the average person who's seen other fucking Superman movies knows that. No. We know that he's good. Dude, the Metropolis and the Smallville fight were the first time the world has ever seen Superman do anything in this continuity. We know that he's good because we know what Superman is.
Yeah,
They,
but what about
at the
later
point
on
of
where he
Man of
saves
Steel,
people?
don't.
Okay, I'm talking about the time period in BvS.
Yes, the Metropolis incident, and also, this only takes place 2 years after. Okay? So, the Metropolis incident and the Smallville incident are the first things that the world has ever seen Superman do. And it's level a fucking city, in their perspective.
Yeah, but he was also fighting with somebody else. I
Yeah,
mean,
who they don't fucking know!
Yeah, but if Superman survived, what's to stop him if he's the bad guy in this case? Why didn't he just continue on with the machine?
Does the person who has no idea what that ship is know that it's Zod's? Does he know why it fucking disappeared?
They know that it destroys people.
And the military took it out in Metropolis, where there were cameras and shit.
But why wouldn't Superman set up another one if he was coming from the perspective that he's the bad guy?
The people in Metropolis don't know that there's a second one on the other side of the fucking planet.
I'm not talking about the second one.
And Superman is over in the other side of the planet, taking care of that one, while the military destroyed the other one over the city.
Okay, but we know that that was caused by the Kryptonians. Is that correct, at least?
Okay, but Superman is also a Kryptonian, and they don't know anything about him or about General Zod. For all that the random average person knows, maybe Superman was a fucking criminal from a different planet, and there's like the fucking alien police trying to catch him. They don't know who General Zod is. They don't know who Superman is. They just know that there are two people beating the shit out of each other and leveling a city, and there was a giant thing that blew shit up.
But they would figure out that Superman in the end was the good guy because he didn't try and murder everybody else afterwards.
Okay, well, and yes, there are some people
and even
part of the
if he is a super criminal from like another world, from a moral stance, if he's still protecting people, I don't see the problem with that.
Except he fucking, to them, he leveled the fucking city.
But he did that because he was in a fight with another Kryptonian on an equal level as him.
Yes, I know! Like, the movie isn't saying that these people's perspectives are right. In fact, if anything, they're saying that they're wrong. They aren't saying that Batman is right for thinking that Superman is going to destroy the world. They're not saying that Lex Luthor is right. They're not saying that the general public is right. They're always being portrayed as these villains, right? Again, Superman's entire arc is, I want to help people, but people are afraid of me. That is his entire character struggle in this movie. They are not being shown as right in this argument. You and I agree on the same thing, that Superman isn't evil. That he is saving people, that he is doing his best. Right? That he is fundamentally good. And that, yes, there was collateral damage involved in the Metropolis incident, but it was either blow up half of Metropolis or have the entire planet be destroyed. We know that. And the movie is saying that that is correct. This is why I say that Batman is the primary antagonist of this movie. Okay,
I'm just going to go back to what we said, because I know you're going to hate hearing it, or maybe you just don't want to respond to it, okay? If Zod was the good guy in this case, and Superman was the bad guy in this case, after he stopped Zod, why wouldn't Superman continue destroying cities?
I don't fucking know.
Then what's the point of making this argument in the first place?
One plane. What?
Do you want to? Do you want to move on?
Just because he didn't. Okay. Here's my fucking issue. Okay, is just because he didn't destroy more of the city doesn't mean that all of a sudden he's good. Just because a fucking bomber blows up only a block of the city, well, he didn't go and try and bomb 2 other blocks. He must be good.
Yeah, but why wouldn't he continue doing it if that was his main motivation? Did he just take a day off?
Fucking, I don't know. I don't know why you're wanting to talk about why didn't you just destroy the entire planet already?
Yeah, because that seemed to be, like in this case, if Superman was evil, in this reality, I guess, again, why wouldn't he just start destroying things? Or destroying more things?
Because they don't think he's evil yet. What they think he is irresponsible. All of the court hearings and shit, and all of the public debate around Superman is, what happens, what can we do if he does something wrong? If this is just what he can do, and we have no power to stop him...
But he hasn't done anything wrong, though. Like, at
Did you not see Metropolis?
At worst, he's irresponsible. At worst. But again, you have to be making up certain situations or scenarios where Superman was destroying stuff purposefully just to destroy things. Do you want to move on? This is getting really boring.
I'm gonna fucking... No. Here's the thing. I don't know why you want to just hammer on the same one point of Superman's not evil. Yes, we know he's not fucking evil, dude.
Then why do people think that he's evil?
Because they saw him fucking level a city.
But why wouldn't he continue doing that?
Because they don't think he's evil yet.
So
they saw what was happening.
So you think he's gonna go from all the saving people and doing all that stuff with BvS, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he's just gonna destroy a whole city.
Except, remember when all of those real, actual human beings saw Man of Steel and said that he didn't save anybody?
Yeah, but I'm not...
So if you want actual... if real people can see what was happening and just blame it on Superman, why is it such a fucking stretch to think that the people in this fictional universe can?
That they can kill people?
That Superman is responsible. Because again, real people saw Man of Steel and said, Superman didn't save anybody, he just blew up Metropolis, this Superman is terrible. So wouldn't that... And that's in real life, okay? So wouldn't it make sense to see the people inside the fictional universe who saw what happened also say, oh my god, he fucking blew up the city, what are we gonna do?
I guess that's... okay. Here, let me think on that, actually. Okay, I need you to reiterate your point, mostly because I got half of it because my dog was barking. Continue.
Okay.
Repeat.
Again, I'm drawing comparisons to the real world because I am like 99% sure that the setup for BvS was made in response to the public reception of Man of Steel. So when Man of Steel came out, everyone was throwing a fit online and talking about how Superman causes so much collateral damage, he's so reckless, he's just punching people through buildings and blowing shit up, and he has no regard for human life, and all these people died and he could have prevented it, and he's a terrible Superman, he's irresponsible, people say he's not Superman, he's just a fucking Hulk, or he's just like a strength character who just runs around beating shit up. People were mad about Man of Steel because of what happened in Metropolis, okay? And these are people who saw the movie and know that Superman was trying to stop Zod from basically wiping out all of humanity, right? And so if real, actual people can see this movie, and not just like idiots, like Red Letter Media and stuff were talking about how Superman's just like a giant blue fascist who runs around like leveling cities, okay? So if regular people can see that movie and think that Superman is irresponsible and wrong, then why is it a stretch to think that people in the storyline wouldn't see what happened in Metropolis and go, oh my god, he can level a city. He's this, all these people died when he fucking fought Zod. What are we gonna do? There's nothing we can do to stop him. What do we do if he does something bad? What if he obviously doesn't answer to anybody. He does what he wants when he wants to, right? Now we know he's only going to do the right thing. They don't know that. And even if he does the right thing, how many people are going to die in the process? That is what people are worried about in that movie. That is the question that the public has about Superman.
Okay, but why wouldn't just Superman explain himself? Okay, so let's just say...
Except he does go to explain himself in the fucking courthouse, but then the courthouse blows up.
I know, I was saying if. If the courthouse didn't blow up, and he actually explained his motives, and said, hey, I was trying to stop this evil guy called Zod, he was the guy that set up that machine, he was part of why the Metropolis whole thing got set up, do you think that would be a better way to end the conflict? And the conflict being like Superman versus the people, or is he evil, is he not, whatever.
Right, like the Superman question. Right. Yes, that would be fine. That would be the best way for that to be resolved. And that's why Lex Luthor blew up the Senate, so that he couldn't give his side of the story.
Yeah, so why doesn't he just go to the media outside? Like, why didn't he just do it right after Man of Steel, or release a public, like, note or public comment?
So, first of all, we already have again, going back to the Batman line, we have the Daily Planet pumping out shit about how Superman's great. And, like, there are obviously people who see Superman as good, right? Otherwise Heroes Park wouldn't be a thing. There wouldn't be a statue to Superman in the middle of a giant park, right?
Yeah, okay, that's actually a perfect point. If people do think he's completely irresponsible, why would they build statues of him?
Because again, public opinion is not all one-sided. There is... just take what's happening right now with the fucking virus, right? There are just as many people who say that this shit works as don't, right? There would be just as many people who say, oh, dude, he saved us, as, oh my god, he's a monster.
Okay, here's my point, though. If people were completely divided, let's just say it was a 50-50 split or whatever, why would they build a statue in the first place? People don't build statues to divisive figures in said period of time. It's usually after...
Do you? Find me all those fucking statues that we have in the United States of the founder of the KKK that were made when the KKK was founded.
Yeah, but that was when it was popular at the time.
Right.
And Superman wasn't popular, though. That's my question.
Okay,
because he's divisive, right? Your whole setup here is to believe that people don't necessarily trust Superman, right?
Right.
Okay, but don't you see that there's a problem with that argument if they can set up statues of him?
So if some people don't think he's good, that means everyone has to think he's not good, right?
That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying if he's a divisive figure...
That is exactly what you're saying.
If he's such a divisive figure, why would they set up a statue for him, though?
Why would they set up... Why would they make statues to any of the people that they make statues to? Because all of the...
That has nothing to do with my question.
Okay. Fucking... Obviously, there are people who think Superman is good, right? And there are also... Because, again, we have Daily Planet over here talking about how great Superman is. But then we also have shit, like, over on other news channels, in that fucking montage that we see of Superman saving people asking, some people saying that he's good, some people saying that he's wrong, some people saying that we don't know and that it's just scary, right? All of these... Like, it's not just a hive mind that, oh my god, Superman's evil. There obviously are people who understand that he's a good guy. Right? And probably enough of those people did when they were rebuilding the city to say, here's the thing. Probably initially, it would have been like, oh, dude, Superman saved us. And then, probably over time, like as things tend to do, then people start questioning whether he did, and start questioning, why did he let all this collateral damage happen? Why is this? Why is that? Right? Because that's kind of how fucking... people discuss things over time, right? It's usually one big sweep of emotions and then questioning and figuring shit out, right? And so obviously I would assume right after fucking Metropolis happened, they're like, oh dude, we got saved from fucking General Zod. And then...
Yeah, but how would the people know that? Your whole argument is built off because we didn't know that Zod was a thing.
Okay, so then, but your entire argument is that people clearly understand who Zod and Superman are perfectly.
That's not what I said. I said most people understand.
Okay, so by your logic, then it would be no fucking problem to have a fucking statue of Superman up, right?
I guess so.
Because public opinion, especially on divisive things, like, isn't, like, public opinion isn't never just a hive mind, dude. I'm sure the thing is that people don't know what to make of Superman.
Right.
They don't know if he's good, they don't know if he's evil, they know that he can fucking level cities and that he doesn't answer to anybody. And that he does what he wants. That's what they know. Some people believe that he's going to do the right thing, some people aren't so sure. Probably the people who believe that he is always going to do the right thing built that statue. And the people who aren't so sure are probably like that guy who fucking vandalized it.
Okay, whatever. It was a stupid point to bring up. Let's move on. Do you want to continue on with the collateral damage thing, or do you want to move on?
No, I feel like I've reiterated that point in like 10 different ways.
Okay, so there's no need to cover it.
But whether it is the truth or not, that is why Batman like decides that he needs to fight Superman. Because he does not think that Superman is going to do the right thing. And I don't even know where the fuck I was going to go with talking about Batman.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was wondering where you were going to.
Alright, what so let me ask you, what are your problems other than the collateral damage shit with
Actually, I don't really have that much, like, as much as I, like, defended it, I just thought that was something worth bringing up when you were talking about collateral damage. I don't actually think that's one of my main flaws with the film. In fact, in some ways, I would kind of agree with your argument.
Okay.
Does that make you feel better now?
Yes.
Alright, so, let's talk about the ultimate cut. Specifically, you were talking about how much it changed the theatrics of the movie, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, so this is what it adds. It adds Ben Affleck's ass, a few burnt corpses, a bit of blood, and adds the subplot of the woman that can prove that Superman's innocent and just dies, and that's about it. I don't think that that's enough to suddenly make it a better movie. Sure, maybe the subplot with the woman makes it a little bit better, but I think that there's, like, if it was going to be, like, I was expecting, like, the cut to be more like Justice League in that sense. Like Justice League Snyder Cut, where there would be, like, totally different, like, things, but you can kind of...
No, Go ahead.
I just feel like the theatrical cut really wasn't all that different from the ultimate cut, other than that one woman just dying, you know? That really didn't have that much of a place in the story, because, again, she just kind of dies, and that's the end of that subplot.
So, one, yes, this isn't a Snyder Cut situation where, oh my god, it's an entirely different movie. What it is again, it's like, is that the Ultimate Cut allows the pacing of the movie to be better, and it allows the editing of the movie to be better. My big problems with the theatrical version was that it was edited like shit, because they had to chop everything as much as they could to fit in 2.5 hours. And even at 3 hours, it feels like the movie is still briskly moving through all of its plot points, right? So that theatrical cut is just fucking going. It's just blasting through all of it, right? And also, like, how many times in the theatrical cut did we see just, like, cuts to black all the time? Like, it would just, there were so many just, like, random cuts to black all the time because they didn't know how to transition into another scene, where, like, it started to feel like just a collection of scenes and not a movie, right? It was just images. It was just like unrelated shit happening to it, and that didn't add up to anything because it never felt cohesive, right? At least that's how I felt when I saw the theatrical version. And again, like, there was never any time for, like, a moment to kind of breathe. There was never any time for, like, like you to really kind of feel anything because it's just going through and ending scenes as quick as possible to get to the next one. So to me, and I also felt like there was a lot of subtleties in information that were omitted in the theatrical cut that made the plot feel more flimsy, right? I felt that a lot of the extra details and a lot of the, like, even though it's not, dramatically different, the things that it added were things that helped explain the story better and pace the movie better, and I felt allowed its bigger moments and allowed its themes to kind of sink in more because you're not busy fucking wondering where the fuck we are in the plot.
It's good that you mentioned the themes because it's something that I want to kind of come over. Give me a second. I need to pull that up.
Okay.
Okay, I found my section.
Okay.
This movie asks us the question of why or what is Superman is and what he wants to do with that, but it never answers those questions, and that's not even according to other shit like what is justice? Is being Batman moral? U.S. and worldly conflicts. I think it's too much to fit in to a 3-hour movie. Can we at least say that there is a ton of themes? I can see why you like this because there's tons of themes, but I think that each theme needs its own time for space. I think fine the whole what if Superman thing, but being Batman, justice, the worldly conflicts that feel pretty crammed in terms of its messaging about the politics guy is he says that he doesn't care. Get it? Because worldly troubles and the US sticks its nose into military conflicts, and it just seems way too much to add in a movie, even for a 3-hour movie.
Well, yes, even for 3 hours, it is a lot. They've definitely bit off more than they could chew. I do agree with you that even with the Ultimate Cut, even though I feel like there is more time for a lot of the themes to kind of happen and have their moment, there is still not enough time because even with 3 hours, it's still kind of trying to get through everything as fast as it can. So I do agree with you on that. I don't agree that it never answers the themes, because to me the question of the biggest, so how do I describe this? So for me, I think the theme regarding Superman is less is Superman evil. I think that is the climate of the world around Superman, that people are unsure of what he can do or unsure of if he's good or not. But Superman's entire crisis is, how do I be Superman? Right? Because he's trying to help people, he's doing the best that he can, and every time he tries to help, he gets more and more criticism, he gets more and more distrust, he gets more people turning on him. So, and you can see over time that it's at first it's just pissing him off, but then by the time we hit the Senate hearing that goes wrong, as soon as that goes wrong, he decides that maybe this isn't the best idea, right? And he goes off and wanders a little bit until he has a talk with his dad. And so his theme is, how do I be Superman, and should I even be Superman, right? Because he feels more alienated. He's starts talking about how I'm not even from this fucking planet. This is a symbol for hope from a planet that's gone now, and I'm the last of my kind, and I don't belong here, and blah blah blah, right? So it's almost about, I was talking with a friend of mine about this a couple days ago, but it's like a deconstruction of Superman that ends up reaffirming who Superman is. Because the answer to that question of, should I be Superman? Well, how do I be Superman? And shit like that. All of his struggles become resolved when he kills Doomsday. So that scene where he's talking to Lois about how this is my world and I need to protect it and shit, that is him completing his character arc that started in Man of Steel of becoming Superman. Of becoming the Superman that we know, right? Because in Man of Steel we see a guy with a ton of power and good intentions, but not really a lot of practice, right? And then we see the fallout from that and the public opinion and, you know, how the public is turning on him and is unsure of him and how it's hard for him to save people and protect people when they don't want his help, right? And his self-doubt and his questioning whether he should do this or how he should do it, right? All of that shit becomes resolved when he embraces Earth, embraces his role as its protector as Superman, right? When he decides to take that spear and fucking jam it into Doomsday, that is him becoming Superman. That is him, like, fulfilling that arc. And so I feel like that is, and then on top of that, like, with what, okay, so here's, if we're going to talk about public opinion of Superman, what I do think is weird is how all of a sudden everyone just unanimously thinks that Superman's good now. Like, all of a sudden it's just, oh, dude, he's great.
Dude, I was gonna bring that up, but you beat me to it, so, yeah, good
So,
on you.
like, I do think that that is a problem. I do think that that is rushed. Where, like, all of a sudden now everyone's just totally down with him. But I think from a character perspective, his arc is done well. And I think that theme of what it means to be Superman and blah, 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 I think is handled really well with his arc.
Yeah, I mean, there were, like, I wouldn't necessarily agree that this is a deconstruction of Superman. I don't think that's quite, maybe there's, like, a better way to word yourself considering that statement.
Again, it started out feeling a lot like a deconstruction. Because, like, the traditional Superman that we know, like, the Superman that everyone is used to is the Superman from fucking the 70s movie with Christopher Reeve and, like, Superman Returns, right? Where, like, he, like, specifically tries to avoid having collateral damage and all that shit. So, again, it's becoming, it's the Superman that we're not familiar with, right? It's bringing him down to a human level instead of keeping him at this god level, right? When we're seeing him as a character, right? Public sees him as, like, this alien god from another world, but we know him as just Clark Kent, guy who's trying to do the right thing. And I feel like, I don't know, maybe because I felt like it was trying to take apart all of what makes Superman Superman and question it and make him, you know, because we know that Superman's not supposed to kill. We know Batman's not supposed to kill, but here we are seeing them brought to the point where Superman snaps Zod's neck. Fucking Batman's mowing down people with guns and shit. So I think it's taking them into these places where they feel kind of bizarre and different, right? And it's like questioning them and being critical of them. But it ends up, again, like, reaffirming who they are. And even with Batman it does that, but, like, with Superman specifically, like, it goes from, like, tearing him apart and questioning all of his shit and into him embracing it and him, you know, fully realizing his identity as Superman. If that makes sense.
I would somewhat agree with that. I think that there are, like, it's like one of the moments that I specifically had an issue with in terms of how they handled Superman is a bit of the confusing messaging. Like, when he goes to his mom and he asks, like, oh, who should I be, what should I be, I thought we were gonna, I think, I don't remember specifically from Man of Steel, but I'm pretty sure, like, his father had a speech in Man of Steel about, like, what the purpose of Superman is.
Right.
And I found that kind of annoying that when he went to his mom, she's like, you can be Superman or don't be Superman. And it's like, okay, well, you didn't kind of help us. You just kind of ended up leading us to the same problem. So I thought that his dad's monologue was actually better, though. I think that explained it a lot better. And I do understand where you're coming from in terms of, like, I wouldn't say it's necessarily a deconstruction of Superman, but I say that it does reaffirm him of being Superman.
Right. And, like, so with him talking to his mom, and his mom being like, you can, like, be Superman or don't, right? Like, yes, I feel like that could have been, well, I don't know. It's also, okay, so, because there's also, like, a lot of people in the movie, like, when we see all the pundits bitching, you know, talking about, like, do we need Superman to be here? Do we need him to help us and, like, shit like this? And his mom saying either be Superman or don't, to me, I think that what it is that he's not doing this because he's told how he's gonna be fucking Superman, he's gonna change the world and shit. Like, to me, I think that it's that he, part of what makes it that he's reaffirming it is that he is choosing it, right? Because he's not just being, because in this movie he's not just being told over and over and over, dude, you're gonna fucking change the world, you're gonna save all the people, you're gonna be so fucking cool, and like, you know, you're gonna help everybody, you're gonna save them. Like, you know, I'm not saying that that's bad. It's totally fine for Jor-El and John Kent to be saying that to him. That works with the tone of that movie, right? But I think with, you know, his questioning things, I think it's better for him to be choosing to come back and be Superman as opposed to just being told over and over that he's gonna be fucking awesome, he's gonna do all this cool shit, you know?
Okay, at least, like, we can agree that I think it could have been worded better.
Well, yeah, I think it needed probably, like, another draft on the script and maybe, like, another scene with him and his mom.
Yeah, I think we can agree with that. But
Right.
another one more point before we move on with Superman. I think there still is the way to have Superman be quote unquote Superman. I know that I made the argument before, but against that argument before, but I think you can still have a charming Superman still go through this crisis of what does it mean to be Superman. I think that, like, because of these hard, heavy themes about, like, what is it to be Superman, what does it mean to be God, am I just a guy, all that is great, but I think that actually takes away from some of his character, because I think they should be building his character first, like, give him, like, one or two, at least, witty lines, give him, like, a little bit more sense of compassion, like, when he's trying to help people. I wish we had that, what was it, was it from All-Star where Superman helped out that, like, suicidal teenage kid? I just kind of wish we saw that, and we got the conflicted Superman. I wouldn't mind both of those things.
So I wouldn't say so. I mean, I get what you're saying. Like this Superman feels kind of cold because he's always, like, in serious mode, like debating, like, what is my purpose for existing. But I particularly with his relationship with Lois that we see in the movie, I think is a lot of his moments where we see Clark Kent just as a regular person kind of shine, and we see him, you know, crack a smile and, like, not just be upset and conflicted. And I think that is not a coincidence that it's mainly with Lois, because I feel that for all of Man of Steel and most of BvS, his sole, like, connecting point to humanity other than his mom is Lois, right? Because his mom and Lois are the only people that he can be himself with, right? Who he doesn't have to pretend to be like, oh, I don't know about this Superman guy, you know, like, he can just be who he is, you know? And, like, I think that in those scenes where with Lois, when she's not getting, like, thrown off a fucking building, like, I think...
And then
in
saved
some of
3
those,
seconds later. Anyway, continue.
right. But, like, in the scenes when she's not in fucking danger, I think we do see the warmer side of Superman, right? Yes, I think it would be nice to have, like, a moment, like, with another human being who's, like, not personally involved with him, but... Like maybe if he was, like, saving that girl in the Day of the Dead fire when we saw the montage and shit, like, maybe he had, like, a little exchange with her or something that could have gone a long way. But I don't think that he's completely cold, because I remember thinking that back when I first saw it, I was like, oh my god, he's so fucking emotionless. He's like fucking Dr. Manhattan. and I don't feel like it's that bad. I think you are right that he is in serious mode all the fucking time, and it's like holy shit, dude. But I do think that there are moments where he, brings a little bit of life and not just being upset. They are admittedly few and far between because this movie is so fucking heavy, but I wouldn't say that so a lot of what I feel with BvS is that, yes, there could be so much more, like, we need more scenes with his mom. We need more scenes of him, like, with Lois and, like, saving people and shit. I think we definitely needed more, but I feel like what we have with the Ultimate Cut, and this is why I feel like the theatrical cut sucks, is because I feel like with the Ultimate Cut, what we have is enough. We have enough of these scenes to like bring up these themes and have them illustrated in some capacity, but we also don't have 6 hours for this movie to happen, so we just have these few bits. Again, we needed more, and again, that going back to the Snyder Cut, that's why I'm glad that this thing is fucking 4 hours. But I feel like what we have is enough, right? Not optimal, but enough.
Okay, that's something I can at least fairly somewhat agree with. But I do, like, there is a part of me that disagrees with it, but not enough where I think I need to challenge you on it. That too, and I need to split up the recording. Do you mind taking a quick break? I need to split up the recording and get everything set up again, okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Alright, back to
okay.
BvS.
Okay.
So, one of the things that I think I don't know if you'll disagree on this or not, but I actually really dislike the color palette in this movie. Now, let me also be clear. I do not like it when the Marvels have it oversaturated as hell. Same problem I had with Justice League. Everything's super, like, bright and in your face and it looks like a TV movie. I don't like that either. But
right.
I don't like the other extreme either, where it's super dark. Sometimes it's hard to make out even some of the colors. Everything is saturated. Only when there's, like, colors like the laser beams or like the red eyes or like the lightning in the sky, that's when it shines. But other than that, because that's so rare, it makes the film kind of look like a really black and gray color palette, and that's just not visually appealing.
So, I mean, okay, I would say that about Man of Steel's color palette, because that movie just felt really gray constantly, and like really like drab. But I actually, excuse me, I actually like this movie's colors, and it's because I personally, and this is all completely fucking subjective, but like I personally am a really big fan of high contrast. So, and I feel like yes, there's an overwhelming amount of like shadow in there, but I felt like Zack Snyder was working very much with high contrast images. With like the nightmare, like Batman like stepping inside the truck and you just see like the fucking full silhouette of Batman against the little bit of light that we see coming through the doors of the truck and shit like that. I feel like it's a lot of silhouetting, it's a lot of, very, very darks with very, very brights, and I personally like that shit. So, and I felt like it worked with how moody this movie wants to be and again, like all the heavy themes and shit. So like I felt like it works thematically with what they're wanting, but I can see it being a problem for some people because it is, it's color choice and shit like that. I feel like is so much more subjective than plot, but I like big in your face color choices, and I felt like this was done very tastefully and very purposefully, like you were talking about with like the laser eyes or the lightning. Like I feel like those are very purposefully made so much more brighter than everything else to really kind of emphasize it. So
yeah, but true, but my problem is that that's very few of the actual movie. Like a lot of the time since it is a regular movie about people standing around and talking, it can be very hard to look at or pay attention to the screen when the colors can seem so bland. And I do agree, there is good contrast, but that's pretty rare though in terms of the overall film.
I mean, I will say in some of the dialogue parts, the colors aren't too great, but I never felt like it became a problem. I definitely felt like there were parts where I'm like, oh, this is like Man of Steel colors, but I felt like a lot more of this movie felt a lot more like dynamic and a lot more like in your face, which I liked because I felt like Zack Snyder was really trying hard to channel all of his like Watchmen shit. So I was like, I like the colors in that movie, and I like that how that movie was shot. So I do get what you're saying with like a lot of the dialogue scenes like have very flat lighting. Like shit inside the Daily Planet does not have very overly dynamic lighting. But I also feel like when the lighting works, when the colors work, they really work.
Yeah, and that's kind of my... Well, like I said, you're completely right in that aspect. When the colors contrast with the dark and moody tone, that works really well. But that is so few and far in between that it makes it really hard to justify that color palette.
I didn't feel like it was so few and far between. I felt like whenever it was daytime, that was when it was drab looking. But most of the time when it was night, and I felt like a lot of this movie was at night. Like that's when all the vibrance started happening. So I don't know. Yeah. But I do get what you're saying.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I there's no like specific examples or a broader thing that I brought for this. I just kind of wanted to mention it. Like you said, the color palette stuff is pretty subjective, so it kind of depends on the person, really.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on to the next thing, which is how did Lex... This is one of my problems, is how did Lex get his hands on Zod, but not the ship? But then later says that he wants Zod's body, but he did test in the first place to show off the kryptonite, so how about that?
I actually had that same question, so I don't have an answer for that. Because I was like, oh, so he needs Zod's body so he could fit... Wait a minute. He already had it so they could test it. Or maybe it was other people testing it? Like, I don't know. I'd have to watch that scene again. There's a lot of Jesse Eisenberg babbling in there. But yeah, it is weird that that he needs Zod's body when it feels like he already tested the kryptonite on it.
Yeah. Funny. I think actually what might be the issue. I was watching this. I have it owned on Amazon. So Amazon has like little trivia for you. Here's a good funny one. Ben Affleck was asked, "What is it like being Batman for your kids?" And he says, "Lol, dude, they just care about Frozen. They don't care about Batman." Which is probably the saddest thing I've ever heard. But another thing that was mentioned in the trivia was apparently Jesse Eisenberg did a lot of his own lines. Like he switched it up on purpose. So there's like a certain section where you're like, okay, Lex doesn't make sense here or here. It's probably because he was improvising because he wanted to get a real reaction out of the actor. The problem with that type of acting is that it can really bum up the story.
Yeah, especially when you're supposed to give like critical exposition. Yeah. So, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if what the tests, like, I feel like it would make sense if it was like, oh, the other guys tested the kryptonite, because there's have to be more than one chunk of kryptonite on the planet. Like, that would make sense, but I don't know if that's what the movie is going for, or if Lex himself was testing it on General Zod.
Okay, moving right along then. I have kind of an issue, something that I assume you're going to disagree pretty heavily on. A lot of these things that people tend to promote about this movie more than any other movie, I guess, is that it's not a generic superhero movie. But the thing is like, we have the, oh boy, the CGI boss fight. We have the superheroes fighting for no reason. We have the pointless cinematic universe. There's like a lot of things that makes it, like, while it's trying to do all these themes with like Batman and Superman and justice and all that, it's really hard to have that justified as different from the norm when you have all these other things that, like, beat for beat are from like other superhero movies.
Well, I get what you're saying, and like, yes, like there are plenty of modern superhero movie cliches in there. I think what it is that it's doing them not just to have like, oh dude, like fucking there's fucking character from other movie, you know, like the nightmare sequence, right? The nightmare sequence is not only like thematically relevant for Batman because he's like completely paranoid that Superman's going to turn evil and destroy the planet, but it's also like tying into Justice League and like when Earth becomes apocalypse and, you know, what Flash has to go back in time to stop with the Lois Lane dying and Superman going nuts. And so like it's there to set up for two movies, but it's also thematically relevant right now, and it was really cool. But and like with, you know, same with the, you know, seeing Batman in Metropolis and like the Flash like appearing and being like, oh my god, fucking Lois Lane, don't do it. Like I feel like it's, or even like with Doomsday, right? Giant CGI boss fight, but that giant CGI boss fight is part of Superman's arc being fulfilled and being like, okay, I'm fucking Superman now, and I'm gonna, and like him like accepting who he is and like fully realizing that identity. I do really wish that Batman and Superman weren't fighting because of a misunderstanding. I feel like that kind of kills it a little bit. Like, it'd be like, all Superman needed to do is just hold Batman and then be like, Lex Luthor has my mother, you need to help me save her. Like, that's all he needed to do. But, like, I get it, you need to have a big fight. But even with that scene, right, as much as I fucking hate that Martha scene, the Martha scene is really not one of the movie's strongest points. But I feel like it's good that it is there because that is a very dramatic way to kind of start Batman's redemption. I don't feel like Batman is fully redeemed and like fully brought back in this movie. I think that's mainly going to be a Justice League thing. But I don't know. We'll talk about Batman more in a second. But like, I felt like it's that the cliches are being used to put up this narrative, right? It is unusual in that it focuses so much on themes and on, you know, big grandiose plots and it, you know, shit like that. I think that's, you know, what makes people feel like it's so different.
While you say that though, I believe the CGI though, I think you would understand. Like, the CGI boss fight, right, with Doomsday or whatever. Right. While it helps like Superman's story of like being dead and stuff like that, that CGI boss fight hurts the story because we gone from like this very I don't want to say in depth, but what the movie was trying to go for was set up like Batman and Superman, and then as soon as like Doomsday arrives, all that is like boop, right out of the air, and it's just like kind of gone now. And I think that CGI boss fight hurts, and I think if it took it more in that direction of we're just gonna have a solo like Batman versus Superman, take out Lex Luthor, take out the bad guy behind the scenes, take out the CGI boss fight, I think we can agree that would make a better movie overall.
I feel like it would make a better movie overall, but I also feel like this is part of why like this movie needed to be like fucking 6 hours long, because like I feel like you can make that work, right? Because like I feel like the problem is that like the movie is fucking, it has like 3 different climaxes right after it, like one after another, right? So it's like, oh dude, we're gonna the Batman and Superman are gonna fight, and then oh my god, Batman's gonna save Marquette, and then oh dude, Doomsday's here, and then Superman dies. So I feel like there was like so many fucking climax points happening at the same time, and I felt like if there was time in between Batman and Superman fighting, and maybe if they were like fighting over like ideological differences, like maybe Batman just decides to bring the fight to Superman and like take his ass on in fucking Metropolis, or maybe Superman does what he did before. Like maybe they should have had the fight when Superman like got him and like ripped the fucking doors off the Batmobile or something. But it starts to collapse a little bit under its own ambition in the third act. I will agree with that, and I think that yes, the CGI boss fight is kind of like it's not the best part of the movie. I appreciate Doomsday for its significance to Superman's arc. I also don't know why Wonder Woman needed to be there.
Yeah,
Like,
I was just gonna get to Wonder Woman because Wonder Woman, Flash, Cyborg, Aquaman even are all in this movie, and dude, it feels like super forced. I don't even think you can move me a little bit on it.
Well, no, like I got you. I got you, broski. Like, when she's looking on her fucking laptop and, like, playing little trailers for each character's solo movie, yeah, that was fucking retarded. That fucking... That's good. I hate Wonder Woman's theme song. Like, I like the music in this movie, but her theme song is fucking ass.
Okay, good. Because that was going to be my next point. And I was going to bring up as my secret weapon, she literally only has a few lines, aka, like, 16 lines or less. So...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why she's here. Like, I like the idea of, like, setting up, like, this person that, like, usually that role would be filled by, like, Catwoman, of being, like, the foil to Batman, and then it's Wonder Woman. Like, oh, that's neat. But, like, why is she here? You know?
And another thing that I was going to bring up as, like, a secret weapon, if you were going to defend this, was that... Take it from somebody who, like, doesn't know comics or, like, anything about, like, Wonder Woman or Cyborg or any of that. What the fuck are they... What is their reaction? Like, they just see, like, some girl in, like, some outfit rocking it, and they're just like, okay, she's here because she got email in picture? Like, what?
Yeah. Well, no, she headed there because she saw the news about fucking the shit going on with Doomsday. Because she saw all the little fucking Justice League trailers, like, before she ran off.
Oh, that all makes sense now. Ah, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, sure, if, like, if her motivation was, like, I'm trying to, like, Lex Luthor has his hands on the fucking Kryptonian ship, and, like, he's gonna do something bad with it, I need to fucking stop him, like, or something that was related to the actual plot, that would be cool, but... She's just kind of hanging out, just happy to be there.
Yeah, that's, like, again, how going back to making this... I know a lot of people, like, there are a good amount of people that complain about BvS and the Ultimate Cut specifically in its length, but I totally agree with you that this would have been a way better story if it was just way longer. And that's why I'm more in favor of Zack Snyder taking this part 1, part 2, and, like, having each one be 4 hours long. I'm totally in favor of that because he really needs that time to breathe.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Fucking exactly. Because, like, again, I feel like what we have in the Ultimate Cut is enough. It's enough to get across the point. But, like, it's not optimal. Like, I would have appreciated more scenes with Superman's mom. And, like, maybe some time between Batman wanting to kill Superman and then helping him and, like, being friends. And, like, maybe Wonder Woman could do something that was, like, legitimate in the plot. That'd be neat. It's really the third act when it kind of, like, crumbles in on itself, but even then, like, I feel that, like, what it does get right, or, like, even if there was, like, some time in between Superman dying and then everyone thinking that he was, like, super good, like, what if, like, maybe Lois Lane had get some fucking photos of Doomsday or something and Superman fighting him, and then, like, she put those on the fucking newspaper and it's like, oh, dude, he was trying to kill that guy, so Superman really is good. Like, something. The
only people that know about it was the government, and obviously we know not to trust the government when it comes to superheroes.
Fucking apparently. But, like...
you know what? They're the real villains in this whole story. Imagine how much they could have cleared up with their information and knowledge that could have helped the public.
I mean, even Lois is like, you gotta tell people that this bullet came from Lex Luthor and that he's trying to set up Superman. Because this is the proof that we need to, like, clear Superman's name of this, like, desert shit. And he's like, nah. He's like, nah, fam.
His exact words were like, I'm not losing my job. Peace,
he's
lol,
like,
I'm down.
Yeah, he's like, I like my job. And I'm like, you bitch. Fucking bitch, Martian Manhunter, you little asshole.
Wait, was that Martian Manhunter?
Apparently that guy is supposed to be, like, Martian Manhunter in disguise.
What? Never mind. Whatever.
What? But, yeah. So the government is always in the wrong when it comes to this shit. But it just needed so much more time to like have everything kind of flesh out, and yeah, I'm very glad that Zack Snyder was getting like basically a mini series for Justice League. That's really nice.
Yeah, I think that would probably be better. Oh, by the way, when I messaged you like fuck Zack Snyder, fuck BvS, fuck BvS Superman, fuck all of that. Okay, part of me was very much being an edgelord. Okay.
Okay. I was like, man, he really hated BvS, huh?
Like, it was better than I thought. Like, going back, there are still problems, and believe me, we're going through some of them right now. But
Yep.
I still think it was better than it was when I saw it in theaters, and especially when I was a kid too,
Right.
and I couldn't grasp everything,
Right.
and I was just sitting there like, what the fuck did I just watch?
What is this? Right. Like I saw it in 2016. I was like, I just fucking saw Superman get nuked. What is my life right now? But I also think for me personally, like, and I said this before about when we were talking about Justice League, like the themes of like what do you do with power, like when is it appropriate to act, like paranoia and fear and anger and distrust when life and world altering events happen, like the ideas and some of the themes that this movie wrestles with, particularly with Batman and Superman, I feel ring a lot more true and feel a lot more relevant now in 2020 when we're dealing with a fucking worldwide pandemic and like the lid has been blown off of like the police brutality shit. Like, yeah, I feel like those themes are a lot more relevant now. I feel like they hit home a little more.
Yeah, especially that part where it was like a comic artist and it had like the police with the Batman on the bat, and he was like going to hit the criminal, and I was like, oof, that didn't age well.
Right? It's like, ow, that's it's too true. Fuck. But or like even with like Superman's pissed at like, dude, the cops are like helping this bat dude like fucking brand people and shit. Like what the fuck is that? Like I don't know. It feels a lot more relevant, and like I also am I'm older and I'm more receptive to those themes. Because again, like when I first saw it, I was just like, this isn't All-Star Superman. Fuck this. Like this isn't the Superman I know. So but now, and seeing it like with more than 2.5 hours of shit, it's like, oh, okay, I get what they're doing. It's Superman, but he's having a big sad right now. It's not that he's evil or like not Superman. He's just sad Superman.
Screw sad Affleck, sad Superman.
Sad Affleck. I'm sure Affleck is less sad now that the Snyder Cut is coming out.
Dude, like all of the original cast is like pumped. So.
Oh yeah. Also, see, look at that, like how all the actors are like totally in on this, and they're like super excited for like Zack Snyder's version of the movie to come out and shit. Like there is no loyalty like that in Marvel, and that's because it's all just fucking corporatized bullshit. Fuck Marvel.
Speaking of which, another bit of trivia for you. This was near at the end of the movie where it popped up. Apparently, there was a lot of people that were so impressed with a BvS screening. I don't understand it, but they were so impressed that they gave Ben Affleck 3 solo movies on his own from then. I don't know what happened to those, but...
Oh, it became Battinson. That's what happened to it. Because Ben Affleck was going to direct 3 Batman movies. Then he was getting pushback on his script, and he was having creative differences, and this was after the fallout from BvS. So he was getting pushback on his script. They were trying to rush the movie. Ben Affleck wasn't having it, so he quit being director, but he was going to still be Batman. And Matt Reeves, who's still directing the Batman movie, he was going to direct the Ben Affleck Batman trilogy. But then they were still having creative differences, and Ben Affleck was talking about like leaving, and so that was in development hell for a long ass time. And eventually the whole thing got scrapped, and now it's Batman with fucking Edward Cullen.
Well, I'm at least glad that the director, Matt, what's his name? Is it Matt Damon? No, it's not Matt Damon.
Matt Reeves.
Matt Reeves, yeah, that's his name.
Mm.
I'm glad that Matt Reeves is at least taking his step as Batman, or vision of Batman.
Yeah, I mean it looks good. As far as like a young Batman kind of year one type of thing, I think it looks good.
All right, it's time. It's time we get to more of the conflicting stuff. I know we're going to conflict on this point.
Okay.
What is the point of the dream sequences in the purpose of the movie? Why would a dream sequence convince Batman to kill Superman? Little explanations of the dream sequence, like how is Batman having these dreams? Is Flash giving it to him? So how is he doing it? Is it not the Flash's power? In the day form of the daydream, it looks really stupid in terms of Batman looks like a gummy bear, and it's like my same problem with Justice League when they have Batman in broad daylight. Anyway, so there's probably a lot to respond to there.
But Batman in a trench coat, dude. I legitimately love that costume. Like, I think Nightmare Batman looks fucking sick. And I will take that with me to my fucking grave. But, so, are we talking about, like, the Nightmare? Are we specifically just talking about the Nightmare that ties into Justice League?
Mostly, yeah. I mean,
because like the opening title sequence was a nightmare where he's like getting like lifted up by the bats, and then there was the one where he was like visiting his parents' grave, and then a giant Batman comes out and eats him. There was those ones.
Yeah, those were pretty short and harmless, and they don't add too much confusion to the movie, unlike the Justice League scene. So let's hear you try and defend this. This ought to be interesting. Okay.
So I don't think that the dream sequence convinces Batman. Batman is already convinced that he has to kill Superman, like well before the dream sequence. I feel like the dream sequence is mainly, I feel like, in terms of this movie, the dream sequence is simply him, like, the same way most dreams are, where it's like your brain processing shit that's on your mind. I'm not saying that he's just dreaming this up. I'm sure there's some bizarre supernatural thing that's giving him visions, and I feel like that will get explained in Justice League, because it looks like there are more nightmare scenes in Justice League, because Earth doesn't become Apocalypse at the end of the Snyder Cut. Like, that's like Justice League 3 shit. So I'm sure that we're going to have more nightmare sequences, and we're going to see what the deal with that is. Because we know the Flash is from Flash going back in time after Superman fucking snaps after Lois Lane dies and trying to like figure out how to fix it. And again, that's a thing that's explained later. But I feel like thematically it was just, even if it wasn't like a Justice League thing, it would be mainly just Batman kind of stewing in his own fear of what could happen. It's I don't know. It's mainly a cool action fight, and then, dude, wouldn't this be really cool if that happened in Justice League? But I also feel like it isn't completely irrelevant because of where Batman is already, where he's like, dude, I have to kill him. Like, he's already there, and he's just like stewing in his own like paranoia and like fear over it. That's my justification for it.
Okay, so first off, let's talk about this specifically. The next movie will explain it. I have a lot of issues with just that one, like, little bit. We can't just say, like, with every movie that has a problem, oh, don't worry, the next movie will fix it. Oh, don't worry, the next movie will address it. No, it's up to that movie and that movie alone. If we keep on doing that, we can just write exceptions to every story ever that just has a sequel that comes after it that explains it.
Well, it's not... Well, okay, here's the thing, right? This isn't a thing where it's like, oh, dude, they fucked up, and then they're going to retroactively explain it later. Like, this is like the Nightmare sequence and the Flash and like all of that shit is part of the plan. Like, he already had the storyline for all 5 of these fucking movies written out. Well, not like written like scripts, but like he knew where the story was going to go, like, the entire time. So like, this isn't like a random thing that then becomes relevant later, like that becomes explained later after the fact. Like this was just like this is here. And I feel like the reason it's explained so little is because like I think what he was wanting is he was like wanting people to wonder what it meant. Like why did he have this? What is this? And then for them to be surprised later with, oh shit, dude, there it is, you know, or oh that's what that was, right? Because like he wanted those reveals to come later in the arc.
Yeah, but that's the problem. But the problem is that when you look at it as its own solo film, it's really hard to justify that dream sequence because it comes completely out of the blue. There is little explanation for any of it, and we're just supposed to take it and go, oh, that thing later on. Wow, that's cool. And I just really don't think that works, especially when we break it down as a solo movie, as its own movie alone.
Well, and that's the problem, right, with a lot of this shit now, is that because all of this shit is made with like a 4 or 5 year plan in mind. Like, when Snyder was writing this, there was no worry that there wasn't going to be a Justice League because he was like, I already have the fucking contract. And I have a contract for not only part 1, but also part 2. So I'm going to write out all of this shit, and this is my plan, is just going to do it. And he was already 90% done filming fucking Justice League before he left, you know? So even after BvS, he was still adhering to that. And, you know, this is the same problem with, like, Marvel shit. Marvel just, you know, again, they don't let anybody have any creative freedom, so that's why their shit is always planned out nicely. And that's why shit like Star Wars happened, right? Is because they were like, well, we need to have a third movie. So we did this, and then, oh, this thing fucked up. So now we need to, like, slap together this other thing real quick to, like, keep people happy, you know? It's a lot of, it's when your plan doesn't go wrong. And that's, like, a problem with, like, the movie industry right now, right? And I get it, yeah. It's, like, it sucks that it's like, oh, dude. Especially if, like, when Justice League was just the Whedon version, and it was just Justice League, that really fucking sucked because there was nothing about that shit in there. So I was like, well, what the fuck was that? You know? And yeah, I get why it's a problem. I still like it though.
I don't like if you. I don't know how to respond.
I think it's a fun scene. I like it. I think it's cool. I like the costume. I like the idea. I like seeing the fight and him taking on all the Superman troopers. I think it's all cool. I think it's cool that it ties into Justice League and that it's like part of this whole like Darkseid taking over Earth thing, and that we're gonna like get bits and pieces of it up until he does it, and then oh fuck, it's Mad Max but with Justice League in it. Like I think that's fucking dope.
Yeah, but the problem is that it's as its own solo film. That is incredibly confusing. As its own solo film, right? Like so on its own. Even before I knew that, like, oh, that's the Omega symbol means Darkseid, I just thought it was him having a nightmare about this is what's going to happen if I don't kill Superman. Like I thought he was just having a very elaborate dream sequence that was not convincing him to kill Superman, but like him kind of reaffirming in his own head, in his own dreams, like this is why he's a threat, and I need to stop him, right? Yes, flimsy, but it's also a nice excuse to have a cool fight scene. And I thought it was a really cool fight scene. I like the long take where it circles around and Batman's fighting all the dudes, and then all the parademons are swooping in. You're like, oh fuck. Yeah, I liked it when the guy waited in the background for his turn. That was pretty cool.
Like, he was busy killing the other guys.
No,
and then he came up.
Not Batman. There was another guy that was attacking, and he just stood there a little while and waited for Batman.
Welcome to overly choreographed fight scenes.
That's not an excuse. That's still an issue.
That's an issue with almost every movie that has choreographed fights.
It's not every movie. Daredevil has probably some of the best. Like, it has little to no errors in terms of how its choreography is.
Okay. Whatever. I think it's a cool fight. I think it's cool. I like it.
Okay, you're clearly not going to move on this point. I'm just going to move on.
No, like, I get why you don't like it. I get why, like, you don't feel like it works as a solo thing, but, like, I think it's cool. I'm sorry.
Alright, good. We're going to go over the Martha thing. Hooray.
Oh, dude, my favorite part.
Okay, he has his mother's name, and because of all this, all that previous build-up, he just stops. He stops later. He later even calls him a friend after this. On one hand, Superman should have just said what happened with his mother, and Batman, that in his own mind thinks that he's a dangerous thing to the human race entirely and needs to be stopped, stops completely because he hears his mother's name.
Right. So, I agree that scene is dumb. I don't like that scene. I feel like there's a lot of ways that they could have handled that to be better, right? I get what they're going for, though. And, like, that doesn't excuse that the execution sucks on that scene very specifically. But, what I feel like what they were going for is because Batman just sees Superman as this alien. Just like this, like, fucking pod person who just comes in and just fucks shit up, right? And like his line, like, you're not a god, you weren't even a man, you know, like, you're not brave, men are brave, shit like that. So, like, I feel like what they're trying to go for is, like, the idea that, oh, he has a mom, like, he has people that care about him and that he cares about, and that, like, you know, oh, he's like another human being with a life and, like, you know, emotions and shit, and he's not just a mindless killing machine, right? Like that. I get that they're trying to humanize him, and they're trying to humanize Superman to Batman using the parental connection, because his parents dying is why he became Batman. Right? So, like, the concept is that like, oh my god, they're gonna kill his mom, Batman gets fucking PTSD, and he's like, oh my god, fuck. Like, I feel like what they were trying to do is, like, Batman goes and saves Martha Kent is because, like, his whole thing, I felt like his whole thing was, like, I became Batman, and I feel like this is my interpretation of just Batman in general, not just this specific movie, but just my understanding of the character. I felt like he became Batman and didn't just stop when he killed the guy who killed his parents, but he kept going because he wanted to, like, prevent other people having the situations that he had, right? Having the tragedy that he went through, right? And so I felt like they were trying to snap him out of it and, like, humanize Superman to him with that, which tied into his motivation for even being Batman in the first place, which is why he immediately went, like, I'm gonna save your mom, Superman, and then he just fucking takes off and then beats the shit out of people. Which, by the way, great fight scene. But, like, again, that scene itself as a scene, right? Like, the way it was done is really bad. And this is another thing of, like, and, like, with Batman calling Superman his friend, like, I'm a friend of your son's, like, dude, it's too soon. You had a kryptonite spear up to his neck like 5 minutes ago. Okay, we're acquaintances at best right now. But, you know, that's one of those things where it's like we need more time before we start being called friends. But, like, I get the concept. I like the concept. I wish that the scene was better and handled that idea better because I think it's really cool. But I do agree with you that, yes, oh, dude, your mom is named Martha, my mom is named Martha, let's be friends. That's dumb.
Okay, good. I understand the concept too, and I get it, like, on a personal level. I know that people were defending this scene specifically right out the gate for, like, the concept, but like I said, it comes down to the execution. That's actually kind of a thing that I have against this movie in general, is not exactly its, like, concept. The concept of Batman killing or Superman having to decide whether he's good or not, it's just sort of the execution of these ideas that I think I have a problem with the most. And I think that's why people, like, I mean, I get it. There are people that hate it for because they don't like to see Batman kill or Superman do collateral damage. There are people that do dislike it, but I think on a greater level why they were disappointed is the execution.
Well, yeah. Well, I feel that, and I also feel like the execution certainly wasn't helped by the theatrical version being even shorter, because I feel like most of the problem with this movie's execution comes down to time. Like, I feel like if they just had, if there's like 10 minutes, for like between fucking Batman trying to kill Superman and being like, oh, dude, I'm a friend of your son's. Like, if there's at least something, build up that rapport a little more, or if more shit with Wonder Woman, or like more of a build up to Doomsday, like, it all comes down to the fact that there needed to be more time. Like, this movie should have probably been split in half. So like I get that there are problems with the execution. I'm not saying that like I came out and I'm like, dude, it's perfect, but like there are execution problems, but I think it executes enough right to where I feel like the good outweighs the bad. Like the scenes that I like in that movie outweigh, shit like the Martha scene, or like what the fuck is Wonder Woman doing here,
So, you know what? Fine. Let's move to a little bit of free form here. What exactly do you think balance it out, though?
For me, it was what balanced it out was the characters. I really liked the character arc specifically for these two characters. I like seeing their journeys in this movie, and I'm excited to see their journeys in Justice League. Like, I'm excited for Superman to come back and be Superman, like the Superman that we know, until he goes Injustice and then Flash has to go back in time. But then even after that, he's just Superman again, right? And I'm glad, and I'm happy, and I want to see more of Batfleck, like his redemption, right? Because we see him at this lowest point because he is supposed to have this gigantic fucking redemption arc over the course of this series. And like, I feel like he had a really good start to it, right? Because like that fucking warehouse scene, I fucking love that scene because like it feels so fucking triumphant, because it's like, this is when Batman's fucking back, baby. Like he's not, because for the whole fucking movie we've seen him like using all his detective shit and all of his like gadgets and spy shit to get kryptonite to kill Superman, right? So we're seeing him basically use all of his know-how and like Batman stuff for evil, right? Because he's like, I gotta kill him. But like, and he's breaking all these rules, and he's descending like so far, again, like he has so few moral lines left to cross now, and because he's so fucking edgy. But like, we're like that scene where he's in the warehouse saving Ma Kent, and I'm like, dude, he's fucking Batman again. Like, he's like that. Like, again, as much as that Martha scene fucking sucks, but like that concept of like, I need to fucking save Superman's mom because like this is why I became Batman, and then him going and fucking doing it, and then having the best fight scene in the movie. That is so fucking sick, dude. And like, same thing with like, Superman and like Doomsday, and like that moment, where he's like talking to Lois, and he's like, this is my world and I need to protect it and shit like that. That like sealed the deal for me, because I really liked the character shit. I like and I like the actors playing these characters. I feel like Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck specifically really fucking give a shit, and like those two characters and the scenes that really worked with those two characters, I feel really like sold the movie and its themes and shit for me, and tipped the scales in its favor.
Oh shoot, I was gonna reply to something, but I forgot to write it down. Damn.
Shit.
It was something about Batman. Hold on.
What, Batman's redemption? The warehouse thing?
Oh, yeah. Why did he place a tracker on it? Kill a ton of people, only then to fail, and then follow the tracker back to when it's at the building, when he could have just hit the tracker, waited for it to actually arrive at the building, then snuck in through there.
I think he was like trying to track it in case he like lost it in the streets. Maybe? I don't know. I know he failed because Superman fucking jumped in and was like, hey, enough of that, knock it off. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe you just put it on there just in case. I don't know. And also, I feel like at this point, Batman has no fucking care for criminals' like lives. Like, he's like, I don't care if they fucking die, because he's fucking edgy Batman. So I feel like that's why he didn't care about killing a fucking ton of people. when he's getting the kryptonite, and I don't know why he put the tracker on there before. I feel like it would have been a thing, like he should have thrown the tracker on it, like, right before he got fucking detoured by Superman. But whatever.
Okay, another problem that I have is did Superman blow up the courthouse doesn't work because no one believed that he actually did it, and the evidence would show that it was a bomb rather than Superman.
Yes? Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's weird that they jumped to, did he do it? I said, well, it was more like, because it was like a few days of people being like, oh my god, the courthouse blew up, and then like a few days pass, and it's about when Superman is like, fuck this, I'm gonna go hang out in the mountains, when, like, that's when people are like, well, he hasn't said anything about it, he hasn't come out, we haven't seen him since, like, is he involved with it? You know, and like, I kind of get that, like, if Superman all of a sudden just fucking disappeared for like a bunch of days, and I'm just like, where is he? That does feel a little suspicious, but again, maybe if there was more time and they could flesh this out more, then that would like not feel as like jarring, you know? Because like I get like the way that it's said in the movie, it's like it feels like instantaneously people are like blaming him for it. But I feel like it like takes a couple days for them to not hear anything from Superman, for them to be like so like what? If he's not part of it, then like where is he? Like why is he just gone now?
Yeah. Okay, so that's pretty much close enough to the answer that I wanted. Next one up is why. Okay, so back to that Batman using his full powers of being evil thing. Why couldn't Batman figure out the basic plan, and how didn't he think that it was suspicious that one of the few witnesses died on the same day as the bomb?
Well, it didn't even. Well, here I'm having a little brain blast moment. Okay, give me a second.
No, it's okay. Take your time.
So you bet, like, why didn't Batman get that it was a plan?
Yeah, why didn't Batman figure it out? Like, I get it, like, part of which is that he's blind because Superman thinks that he did it, but I think basic detective skills, especially after, like, 20 years of being Batman, I think he would have figured this plan out pretty easily.
That he's, like, being manipulated to try and kill Superman?
Yeah.
Well, I think, I mean, this isn't a full justification. It is a little weird where it's like, dude, what the fuck? But, like, the way Lex talks about it, he's like, it didn't take a lot. I just had to fucking send him a couple messages, and then he just, like, fucking went in on it. So I feel like it really leans into that he's blinded by rage thing, where it's like, he was already going to do it anyways, and this flimsy fucking manipulation is enough justification that he needs for him to, like, convince himself it's okay, and he's like, fuck it, I'm just going to do it now. So, I feel like that's what they're doing. I don't even know why they needed Lex Luthor to manipulate him in the first place, because it felt like he was going to kill Superman from the fucking outset.
Dude, I don't understand why Lex is even in this movie.
He's here to make Doomsday.
Yeah, but I think we can all agree that Doomsday and that third half is, like, the worst part. If they just had what they had with, like, 2/3 of the movie, I think I would be way better. Like, if they were to flesh out more of Superman's motivation against Batman, if they fleshed out more of the motivation of Batman versus Superman, I think, like, not only more time, but I think cutting out a lot of Lex Luthor's part, I think would be better.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't feel like they should have just cut all the third half out, or, like, the last third of it out. I felt like, again, like, they probably should have made this, like, a two-part. Like, they probably should have had one movie called Batman versus Superman, and they should have had another movie called Dawn of Justice.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, that works.
You know, so, again, it's down to, like, there's so much that they wanted to cover, you know?
Okay.
All right.
So this next one is kind of in terms of acting. I don't get bothered a lot by acting, but for here, it kind of... I think I kind of went over this already, but I'll just kind of go over it again. Is that Superman is boring, and boring in terms of acting. What is Superman's character, other than, like, deciding whether or not to be Superman? I don't think there's, like, enough character scenes in the film for him to justify to have a character. Then again, maybe it's because I didn't watch Man of Steel, but I think that there is a lot more character that need to be added to Superman and Batman, personally, other than just the main plot lines that they were going through.
Well, I think it's because the themes that they're dealing with and the plots that they're going through are so critical to like who they are that like it becomes kind of all consuming. Like Superman doesn't have a character, yeah, because he's trying to figure out what it is. You know, like these crises that they're having are like crises of like existing.
Yeah, but don't you think you can still have a Superman and a Batman that is more engaging at the very least, other than like you can still go through these like issues of what's the meaning and purpose of what I do, etc., and still have a character in there.
Well, I thought I liked watching them. I thought they had, you know, scenes where like their personalities shine through. I liked seeing Bruce Wayne be Bruce Wayne and be like a smarmy dick. And I like seeing Clark Kent be a reporter and him doing all the investigations on Batman, you know? And like him going through Gotham and like trying to track him down and like figure out what's up.
Yeah, but those aren't cool. Those aren't character moments though. Those are plot points or certain things in the plot that they do.
Yes, they are. It's very plot related. I mean, like a lot of it comes down to like their character moments where, you know, you just see them kind of who they are and like, you know, they let their guard down, you see a little bit more of their personality. It's always like with 1 to 2 people, right? It's either with Ma Kent or Lois, or in Batman's case it's with Alfred. Like Alfred is like the only person that he feels like he can like be around and like talk to, I guess, because he's so secluded. Like he doesn't even have any like sidekicks running around to talk to or anything. So or he doesn't even work with the police commissioner or anything. So like I get that there can be in like a what am I trying to say here? I get that it can be a little tiring seeing them always in crisis mode. Right? And to be fair, I don't feel like they're in it all the time. I feel like there are those scenes where you see, you know, them crack a smile or have a witty, you know, little quip or something. But I do think that, but also like I this is a thing with me in particular. Like I get it. I'm not saying that your point is wrong. I just never seem to have a problem with like overbearing tone when like everybody else seems to. Like even like with like Last of Us 2, everyone's like, "Oh my god, it's so fucking miserable the entire game," and I'm like, "What are you talking about? There's plenty of moments where it's like cute. Like yes, it's 90% misery, but there's that 10%, you know, like." And I feel like it's a similar case here. Like yes, 90% of the time it is it's like so fucking grim and like dramatic and self-serious and like grandiose, and it's got all these themes and holy fuck. And then but then, you know, I'm also like all the way here for that, and I appreciate the 10% that is the character shit, but like I get why you would see it as a problem. I get that, but I think those scenes that they do have, those little moments of levity, are enough for me, especially because I'm here for them fucking themes, bro.
Okay, that's something that's a worthy response, I guess. Again, I think this comes down to more time. If they just had more time to develop a bit more of that relationship between Batman and Alfred, for Superman and Lois, I think that could have benefited. Because like in terms like as an outsider, right? And you don't really like Superman or Batman, and you know what? Even more so, if you do like Batman and Superman, it comes extremely hard from that angle that are characters that are, number one, completely unrecognizable to the original counterpart, and that don't have many character moments that they're supposed to like about them in the first place.
Yes, and I feel that because I was in that exact position, right? Because I was really put off by how cold and mopey Superman was because, you know, back in 2016, I didn't really recognize that he was having a character arc. I was just like, that's not fucking Superman, dude. And, like, yeah, I feel like if they did have more scenes with Batman and Alfred, more scenes with Superman and Lois, or Superman and his mom, like, that would do a lot more to, like, further humanize those characters, you know? Yeah. Again, like, all of it always comes back to time. Like you said, like, it's always, like, again, this needed to be 2 movies, you know? So...
Yeah, actually, when I was thinking about that when I was grabbing a drink and everything, about how, like, 2 movies would work, specifically under the stances of this one is versus Batman and Superman. This one's about bringing together the Justice League, because it feels like that 2/3 and onwards is like from another movie trying to set up all these other things that kind of feels crammed into the first movie. So I think 2 movies, not only to separate their themes, like what is justice and all that, can be in like the first movie when they're fighting and like Batman and Superman fighting, but like coming together, figuring out what it means to be Superman, and Batman having a start of his redemption arc would work into the second movie. So I think that's like an incredibly good concept.
Yeah, like, first movie could have been totally just all about, like, the media doesn't like Superman, Batman's gonna kill him, like, he's gonna get the kryptonite, and blah, 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 like, tease Lex Luthor, because, like, oh, Lex Luthor's getting kryptonite, I wonder what for. And then maybe have, like, Dawn of Justice, like, the second movie be Lex Luthor's up to no good and trying to frame Superman and, like, trying to make doomsday and shit. Like, he's doing some, like, mad science shit, and then Superman dies, and then that's why... And then, like, fucking Steppenwolf gets teased, and he's like, oh, fuck, I gotta make the Justice League. And then that's it. But, like, yeah, it definitely... There's just so much shoved in there, and it's just... They spend so much time, like, building up all of these, like, character stuff, and then all of a sudden it's just... Okay, so fucking Doomsday's here. So... Yeah, it's just... It's all about that time.
Speaking of Doomsday, how did Lois know that the spear could hurt Doomsday?
That's a Kryptonian, right? So, like, when she... Well,
yeah, but that wasn't explained. Yeah, she wasn't there. She wasn't there when Batman and Wonder Woman had that conversation about it was Kryptonian and how the spear could hurt it. She just kind of knows.
I don't know. Intuition. I don't know. There's probably some, like, little weird thing that, like, sort of justifies it, but I didn't catch it. I was caught up in, like, dude, punch him! So, like, yeah, I don't know how she figured that out. I mean, I feel like she could have easily figured out that, like, oh, this is dangerous to Superman. But then, I don't know, maybe she was like, oh, it's probably alien? Like, I don't fucking know. I don't know. And you win that one.
And the next one is, how did Lex know Superman's identity?
Because... Well, how did he know Batman's identity?
I don't know. I don't know either.
Like, I feel like he probably just, like, through the power of money and being a dick, he just found it out. Like, he probably researched them, was like, did some illegal shit to, like, get information from on them, and I was like, oh, I found him out. But, like, I don't know. He knows, okay, because he's crazy. I don't know. Again, like, if we had more time, we could have seen him, like, track him down or figure out who's who. But he just knows, dude.
He just knows. He's all... You know what? When you had, when you said, like, through the power of money and, like, computers and stuff, I was thinking of, like, Lex, like, sitting there at the computer with, like, some Russian theme song on while it's like, Pipolowski, and then him, like, hacking at his computer, frantically picks up the Coke and starts drinking it. He's, like, eating a bag of Cheerios, and he's like, I found it! Batman and Superman's identity. That's it.
I found it! He's Clark Kent, and then he slowly pushes a fucking Jolly Rancher into his mouth.
And it all ties back to the Jolly Ranchers. Wait, actually, you know what? While we're on the topic of that, that's the perfect time to bring up the ads. There are a lot of ads in this movie. Have you seen that whole interview of Zack Snyder talking about Turkish Airlines?
No. Are you talking about like product placement?
Yeah.
Oh, that's like common. I feel like that there was a shit ton of product placement in Man of Steel as well. I feel like that's how they're getting the money to fund these gigantic fucking things.
I just think it shouldn't be to the point where it's like distracting, or there shouldn't be like so many of them where you can like have a game to like point out all of them.
I'm not saying it was a good call, but I mean you gotta get the money doesn't grow on trees, okay? But yeah, it can be a little obnoxious. Like when Superman got thrown through an IHOP in Man of Steel. And he had to fight the alien chick inside the IHOP.
Yeah. IHOP. They had to truly play for the collateral damage.
Yeah. Fucking IHOP, dude. That's what... Superman fucking hates pancakes, dude. We have to kill him.
Oh, so that's why he wanted the collateral damage. It all makes sense now. Okay.
Yeah. So... Yeah. Yeah, the product placement is obnoxious. I don't know what they're gonna do to fix that, because these fucking movies are so goddamn expensive to make. Because like if I was in the producer's chair and I was like, how are we gonna get like fucking $300 million for this shit, dude? I just like immediately start calling up Coke, be like, hey. So
I just like there's like a way to do it, I think, where like here's a good example, like the Dove, the Jolly Ranchers, and the... Okay, actually, you know what? I'm going to take an example from this movie. That way I'm not, like, pulling it from any other movie. The way that they do Turkish Airlines is kind of... Like, it makes sense, right? Wonder Woman is, like, in the plane. It's, like, in the background. Unless you're, like, really paying attention, you're not really going to notice about Turkish Airlines. Turkish Airlines really helps us with the story. Shut up, Zach. But, like, the Jolly Ranchers, though, and, like, the Dove soap, like, straight in your face. Like, it takes the full screen. And that's what I think my problem with it is.
There was Dove soap? I didn't know this.
Yeah, it was in the bathtub with, Lois. It was, like, front and center when she put down one of her... Yeah.
I wasn't looking at the soap. But, okay. I get you. Yeah, the Jolly Ranchers were kind of weird because it was like, oh look, now I spontaneously want some Jolly Ranchers. Why is that? Yeah, it's a little weird.
Okay, back to the question stuff, left and right, boom, boom, boom. You're gonna answer these questions and you're gonna do great, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so this one's more of a question rather than like a problem with the movie. Did Lex plan for Batman to take the kryptonite?
I feel like Lex was planning on... Wait a minute. Did Batman steal the kryptonite before or after the...
I believe after.
Was it after? Because Superman jumped in and, like, derailed his car and then ripped it open and was like, hey, fucking stop with this Batman shit. Like, while he was trying to get the kryptonite. And, like, immediately after the courthouse blowing up, Superman was just gone. Like, he wasn't doing anything. He just, like, fucked off to the mountains.
Yeah, I'm pretty, like, you can go over it if you want to, just to be sure, but I'm really, really confident that that came after the courthouse scene.
Okay, I'm gonna look this up, because whether or not that did will fucking determine my answer great. I think I have it still rented. Maybe. Okay, so it looks like it happens like right before it. Like right before it.
Here, hold on.
Because it says like, so Wayne tells Alfred that he plans to steal the kryptonite and weaponize it if necessary to fight Superman. And then next paragraph, a widely publicized congressional hearing is held to question Superman's actions against Zod. And then a bomb smuggled in by Luthor detonates. Blah blah blah. Oh wait. So Batman breaks into LexCorp and steals the kryptonite. So, okay. So he was sending him, like, angry messages and, like, stupid letters and shit before he stole the kryptonite. So what I'm guessing is, like, I don't think he planned, because he was going to use it to make a fucking bioweapon, and that's why he was trying to get the hearing to be about making a weapon to stop Superman. But, like, I don't think he planned it. I think he tried to use it to his benefit. I don't know how he figured out that Batman stole it. Wait a minute. So, like, yeah, I think he was always wanting Batman to try and kill Superman, but I think he didn't anticipate him stealing the kryptonite, and I think he just used that to his advantage. It's like, okay, so just go kill Batman.
Yeah, I'm playing it right now. I'm at the LexCorp scene.
Okay.
Right when he steals it. I'm gonna check and see if this is after the courthouse explosion.
Okay.
You can probably hear it. Oh wait, no, you can't because I have gamer headphones on.
God damn it. So I think I read that it takes place after. So
yeah, it takes place after. It takes place after. It's confirmed. Yep. I just looked at it.
Okay. So he obviously didn't plan for him to steal the kryptonite, but he was already trying to get Superman to fight Batman anyways. So I guess he was just like, oh well, this works with my plan anyway, so let's do it.
Yeah, I think that was more of a coincidence than it was a part of Lex's plan.
Yeah.
All right, this one's a kind of a obvious question. Why didn't he just make kryptonite bullets?
Batman?
Yeah.
Because it's not fucking cool enough, bro.
Oh, come on. You can see, like, a kryptonite AK. That would be awesome.
Yeah, but it's not as fucking cool as a spear, dude.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They're bringing it all back to the primal, primal things.
Fucking since the dawn of time. Fucking dog eat dog. God versus man. Black and blue, fight night, whatever. But, like, what the fuck? Oh. I mean, yeah, I could have made kryptonite bullets, but that wouldn't have been any fun.
But it would be way more effective. Oh, whatever.
It would have, but then we wouldn't have a big old fight scene. Batman wants to get up close and personal, okay? He wants to see his face as he beats the shit out of him.
And a kryptonite sphere would somehow help him do this, I guess.
Yeah, because he's right there. You already fucking dropped a sink on him and threw him down a fucking, like, 3-story building.
Whatever, it's just, like, a weird, obvious question that I had.
It's for action, okay? It's for action shit.
Action. Me like action, me clap.
Yeah. I like it when the big muscly men punch each other.
Okay, so, last thing, then we can finally cap this off. This may be start of a conversation or a whole new other thing. The Superman and Batman conflict is bullshit. Either A, both are hypocrites. B, should be working together. And then I have like a couple statements that they made that I kind of that doesn't make any sense to me. Like Superman mentions that he beats up on the poor, which I mean, of course he's gonna beat up on the poor because the poor commit more crime. Like, what do you expect? And that doesn't mean he discriminates either, because he's shown to go after a rich guy. Anyway, you write articles about Superman when he could have burned the whole place down. Again, why would he do that? And he has the power to wipe out the human race. Yada yada yada. Okay.
So, Batman is a hypocrite, I think, because I feel like he's at the point where he's I feel like he's abandoned all of his like principles. Like he talks to Alfred. He's just like, we've always been criminals. Nothing's different. Taking out criminals is like cooking weeds. They take out one, 20 more sprout up in their place. Like, I feel like this is like, again, like part of that like weird deconstructionist kind of thing is that like this is a Batman that's abandoned like almost all of the things that like make him Batman, right? Like he's killing people, he's like branding people and like being like unusually cruel and shit, and he's like lying to Alfred about, oh, it's a dirty bomb. It's actually kryptonite because I'm gonna fucking kill Superman, dude. So I think he's hypocritical in that sense because he's got nothing to lose, and he just feels like he needs to kill Superman because he thinks that if left unchecked, he will fucking destroy the world. Right? And he doesn't believe that he will end up doing the right thing. Because, holy shit, he fucking took out my entire building. So, and then, with Superman, I felt like it was kind of like a tit for tat thing. Where, like, I felt like Clark was going after Batman and, like, hearing about it because he's like, oh, okay, so it's cool when he fucking does this shit and he fucking goes in beating up people and shooting guys, but I can't fucking just hang out in the desert and like punch a dude through a wall. So I felt like there was I felt like Clark had a personal investment in dogging on Batman because I feel like that would fuck with him a little bit, honestly, with the way that people are dealing with him right now. So that's why I think that they had a conflict. And also, we already talked about why Bruce Wayne thinks that Superman's evil, or that he's gonna be evil. Yeah. That's why.
Okay, so what you're trying to say is that Superman has investment in taking out Batman because he thinks that it's like, why is it fair that Batman could get away with so much worse and I can't? Am I getting that right?
I think so. I think to some degree it's like if you're getting in trouble for being a vigilante and everyone's like roasting you for fucking he can't do whatever he wants, he's not above the law, and then like here's some other dude doing the exact same fucking thing. Like I feel like there'd be like a personal thing in that. And like with Clark also, it's like he's doing it again, he's like much more cruel than we've ever seen Batman do it, and he's like branding people and like all kinds of shit, and he's killing people and shit. So so I'm sure he would see this as like, you know, I do vigilante shit, but I'm not doing this. Like, this is fucked. So that's what I think.
Okay, but when does it actually say that, or Superman say that in the movie?
I felt like that was more implied than anything, or maybe I just read into that.
I think you're reading into it because I don't think there's like enough evidence going behind that claim.
Okay.
So you're just gonna say, I interpreted it as this and that's that?
I mean, if it, like again, like if there's, see with these like, with like, so why did this happen and why did that happen, right? Like why did Lex see through the, why did Lex know that, you know, lead, you can't see through lead, right? Like, I don't know. Like I don't even, like I can't have a discussion on shit. I'm just like I don't fucking know, dude. And like, yeah, maybe it is that I'm just reading too much into that, and maybe there isn't really a justification. It's just like, bah, Batman bad, you know, bah, Superman bad. Like, I don't know. Like, if... I don't know, dude. I don't know where to go from here.
Alright, I think that's a good enough response. Mostly because I'm just too hungry to care right now.
Yeah. Fuck. I was trying to talk me into a corner with this shit.
Wait, what?
Said you're always trying to talk me into a corner with this shit.
That's like my job at this point, dude. That's like all I do.
Fucking apparently. Holy shit. Yeah, I don't fucking know, dude. That was my explanation.
It's just like not that valid because you're not backing it up with anything.
It's perfectly valid.
Okay, now I know you're doing this to mess with me now.
Yeah. I mean, like, there was that whole thing with, I think it comes down to the to the cruelty of his methods more than anything. Because, like, the actual shit in the plot is fucking, like, him tracking down that inmate who had the bat fucking brand on him and, like, trying to talk to his family and shit. Like, I think it mainly comes down to that. Like, Batman is... And it's not like a collateral damage thing. It's like he is purposefully being cruel and sadistic to these people that he is dealing with. Right? So I think that's really why.
Okay, anything else you want to say?
I don't know. I didn't think it, again, like, I don't think it's a perfect movie. You know, it has plenty of problems, but, like, I came out of it way more impressed than I was when I first saw it. Like, when I first saw it, I thought that movie was, like, irredeemably fucking awful. Like, worst movies I've ever seen in my entire life kind of awful, you know? Like, that can't be fixed at all. But it's definitely not that. It's just is overly ambitious and needed way more time. But I'm a lot more receptive to what they were trying to do with the characters, and I actually enjoyed watching it, which is weird for me to say because I live in Bizarro world now. And I'm really excited for Justice League. It's gonna be really good.
Maybe we'll disagree on that too, and then we end up in this conversation again.
Yeah, but this time it'll be even longer. Because I feel like this is even longer than the Last of Us 2 video.
Okay, so my first recording was 1 hour and 30 minutes. Our second recording was high 40, and this one is going up to 36. So add all of that up and you have your answer.
Okay, so probably like a little over like 2 hours 45, maybe like barely 3 hours. Yeah.
Dude, everybody's gonna be so impressed with us too. Like, they're gonna be like, you guys did like a 2 hour half debate, and it's like, that's nearly longer than the theatrical cut. And I'm like,
yeah,
dude. Yeah, bro.
Yeah, bro. Fucking, it's because I'm a smart guy.
Because we're gamers.
Because I'm a fucking big brain boy. Right. So, yeah. I'm really glad I got to talk all about that shit, because I can't talk to a lot of people about it, because I'm like, because either they're my friend in Fort Collins and they already know. They're like, fucking yeah, dude. That's what I've been saying. And then, or they're like, dudes at work, and I'm like, I have to do work. I can't just sit here and talk to you about how good this movie was. Fuck. So, I was glad I got to say a lot of the shit that I wanted to say about the movie.
Yeah, I think I got a lot of it out of my system too.
Yeah. Again, I was very surprised when I finished it, and I was like, wow. Shit. Fuck. God damn it. Son of a bitch. That was actually pretty good.
So, what do you think about this debate, post thoughts, kind of for you?
I felt like it started out rough, and there was a lot of points where I was just like agreeing with you. You was like, yeah, that's kind of bullshit. But I felt like there were parts where we were like really in a groove and like having a really good debate, and I feel like there were other parts when it was either like, yeah, like just agreeing with each other and going like, okay, so next one, and then we agree, and then okay, next one, and then like I felt like I started out really rough in the beginning still. Like, I know that you didn't take offense, but I still like, I feel like I could have composed what I was saying a lot better and less angrily.
But dude, that gets all the views though. Come on.
Come on, man. How are we gonna get popular if you don't yell about shit? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's how the YouTube algorithm works, man. How did you feel about it?
Me?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I gotta do post-debate thoughts anyway. You know what? Sure, I'll do it right here, and then I'll just end the recording after. It was okay. I wouldn't say it went as smoothly as my CRPD gamer discussion. I felt that we got really hung on that one part that I just don't think we had enough information on. That's why I kept on saying, let's move on, let's move on. I know you were like trying to get to the point of it, and I understand that, but it's just like we were running in circles, and there was really no point. There was no clear answer to that one.
Okay, yeah, I gotcha. I just hate like dropping an argument, just be like, fuck it, you know, like. I don't know.
Yeah. Some of your reasoning, I don't think I can respond to. Like, if you were like, dude, that jacket looks sick. And I'm like, okay, you know, I can't debate with that.
I mean, okay, so, like, with nightmare shit, like, literally, it's, like, to me, it's there to be cool. And, like, I'm completely fine with that. Also, with some of these responses, I'm kind of half memeing anyways, so...
Yeah, I could kind of gather that. That's why I just like decided not to respond to some of them and just move on.
It's a sick jacket though.
You know what? I would like that jacket. That would be very cool. It almost reminded me of the Damian Wayne design jacket. Have you seen that?
I don't think so.
It's sort of like that actually, but instead it's kind of like folded up a bit more, and like they're actually like, you know how like the two ends of the jackets don't connect. Damian Wayne's is like it kind of wrapped over each other and just more tight looking, and he's got like collar, like the nice collar too. So
it's less disheveled.
Yeah, exactly. But Mad Max, bro, come on.
Yeah, it's gonna be sick. It gave me like Punisher mixed with Batman vibes, that design, and him like shooting all the Superman troopers.
This
fucking cool.
I'm so glad I got this out of my system, because I didn't have that recorded debate. Like, I had that debate like a few months ago, and I think I'm going through the withdrawal symptoms, and now I'm just like, I feel so much better now. It's like I'm taking.
I haven't debated anybody.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I gotta live up to my debate me bro status. Come on.
Yeah. I haven't debated yet. Somebody have a hot take.
Yep, that's my job.
Yeah.
Bing bada boom. Oh wait, they fixed the Discord thing.
What?
Okay, so when I was on my call with CRP Gamer, they changed it to these like terrible looking boxes. They'd have us space up, but now it's just like us in a circle like it normally was before. I'm so glad they did that.
Nice.
Oh, it looks so much better.
They unfucked it.
They undid it. I'm so proud of them.
Yeah. Good job, guys. You did good. Is there anything else that you want to talk about?
No, I got a shit ton of homework and sleep and other garbage.
Boy. I also have to play through more Control so I can thoroughly irritate you with my thoughts on that.
You know what? Next either next week or the week after that, we talk about Control, because
okay.
Oh, but first, before you go, just give me like a bit of a paragraph on your thoughts on the game. That way, I kind of know what to prepare for.
Okay. It reminds me a lot of Hellblade with how it delivers its story, with a lot of like, it does it very much like audio, like with you, like people talking, like voices in your head and type of shit, which I think is kind of cool. I like the aesthetic of this game like a fucking lot. This game, it looks beautiful, not only like graphically but like art design wise. I like the idea, like it seems like they're playing with the idea of like player versus player character, right? Like separating that. Like you are not Jessie what's her face. You are controlling her, pun intended, I guess. So I want to see where they go with that, because I think that's a really interesting concept. The shooting's fun. I like that it's like a thing and it like shoots bits of itself into the enemies. That's pretty neat. And I want to get the psychic power so I can throw things at people. That should be pretty cool.
Oh, you haven't gotten to that part yet?
No, I'm getting to the mailroom to get to the hotline.
Oh, okay. So you'll start to notice when you get like some of these abilities and you meet some of the other enemy types, the gameplay can get really irritating, and I'll kind of like emphasis this on our next talk about that. Okay.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I plan on playing a lot more of it soon. So.
Oh, before I ask you, DMC video stuff. You doing that?
Yeah. Yep. I went back and looked through some of my old videos and I was like, damn, I do miss making these a little bit, but I don't feel like DMC5 fits the video style that I was doing because the enemies die so fucking fast. Like even on Dante Must Die, they fucking die like way too quick. So I thought instead it'd be cooler to have like a single fight that was really good and like showed off a weapon, because that would make each video interesting and not just, oh wow, look at that same Nero combo that I've seen 8 other people do. I thought that would be a lot more fun and keep me wanting to make more videos on it. And I am going to make more DMC reboot videos, but I have to get used to my control scheme because it's all crazy.
Yeah, when I went back to get some footage for the reboot, it is like insane. It's like when you do DMC5 or play DMC5 after a while, you can understand it pretty quickly. You can get the handle of Dante, Nero. Shut up, V. You don't exist.
You can not play V? That's how you get used to him.
Oh yeah, V's such an in-depth character. But with the reboot though, in terms of like its controls, it can be very hard to like get the grasping of it again, which is why I'm kind of thinking about going back to DMC. I might even do a few combo freestyle videos or something like that because I need more gameplay anyway.
Right on. Yeah, that'd be dope. Yeah, I'm hoping to do more of them. I think it'll be fun. I definitely like miss it, and I'm wanting to make some videos that aren't fucking Halo. So, yeah.
Alright, good talking to you.
Yeah, good talking to you, man. See you later.
It was fun. See you later.
Yeah, it was fun. That's why.
Okay, so first of all, like him having like okay. So essentially, let me make sure I get this right. Let me steel man your argument here. You're saying that one of the reasons
Steel man?
Yeah, we've been over this.
Steel man. Oh, I get it. You're making a pun.
No, god damn it.
Okay, keep going. What's your point?
I didn't even realize the pun, but now I did. God. Anyway. Okay, so what you're trying to say is that Superman has investment in taking out Batman because... Okay, so this one, I think is like my last question, and then we can go back to the whole motivation of Batman and Superman. But this is the last one. How did Lex know that Superman couldn't see through lead?
He looked up his IMDb profile. I don't know. Why are you asking me this? I'm not the writer. But it's like only Lois knows, right? Because he told her.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she knows.
So it must be Lois all along.
God damn it! Maybe they did tests on Zod, and they're like, "Oh, something with lead." I don't fucking know.
But when they need his eyes,
he knows. Yeah, they looked at his eyeballs and they put some lead up to it, and they're like, "Nope." Can't see through it.
I just like professional scientists sitting around a room just going, "Nope, you can't see it."
Nope, can't see through lead. Yeah,
Lex is all powerful and all knowing in this movie.
Yeah, which is why he's not all good. Okay, he's consistent.
Oh, it makes sense now. Okay, now I'm getting the themes finally. Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking big brain time, dude.
I got so distracted when Henry Cavill took his shirt off.
Did you?
Yes, I did. I was gonna criticize the love scene, but like how there wasn't enough character in it, and then I was like, you know what? Henry Cavill's abs saved it. Too late.
You know what? There might be something to this scene.
I like how he equally sexualized them. both woman and man.
Yeah. Yeah, we even saw Ben's ass. Now that's equal opportunity. Everyone gets nude.
That's the best. That's the best Ultimate Cup right there.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck.
So,
ass.
yeah. Let's put that on the back of the box. You can see his ass. 10 out of 10.
I want like an IGN like notify review or something like that. Like certified reviewer says Ben Affleck's ass saves the movie completely.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, that's what I was saying. Like, I wasn't looking at the fucking soap in that scene, dude.
Oh yeah, that's right. How come I was looking at the abs and the boobs at the same time, and yet you couldn't see the dub scene, and I could?
I don't know, dude. I was transfixed by the boobs, dude.
It like warped you into another reality.
Yeah, I had a fucking astral projection experience, okay? An out-of-body experience staring at those titties.
What the fuck? Anyway.
Alright.
I love you have the most violent ways yet again with the.
Yeah. It's because I have my gamer headset, dude. Okay,
Yes.
so what was your other point? Your point?
Oh, guess what? I have a headset too. Now who's the real gamer?
Me, because I had it first.
Oh, damn. Okay, I see how it is.
I guess. I did it first, so you're just copying me. I'm sorry if I was super pissed. It was just because I felt like I kept saying the same thing,
Okay.
fucking over and over.
I think I
and
understand.
Then you still weren't getting it.
Okay, I understand. Okay, I think the reason we have kind of a disconnect on that issue specifically, and why we can't or why it's hard to see each other's side in that case, is because I don't think there's enough information. Like, if there was a part in BvS or something like that, seeing it from the average person, other than Batman, other than Lex Luthor, seeing people talking about it, if they had small chunkets of different people with their own how do I say, mini episode of their what they know about Superman, the collateral damage and all that, I think that would have cleared up everything that we just discussed.
Well, we also see that fucking dude in the wheelchair who got his legs fucking chopped off because part of a building fell on him, a building that Superman and Zod both crashed into.
Yeah,
and he is a major part of the framing Superman plot and the destroying the Senate.
Yeah, but there's got to be more than that. It's got to we get what 2 scenes in terms of a couple of scenes of development, maybe 3, 4. Maybe? And I'm just saying that I think that they could have done a better job explaining it more from their perspective. If you think that was the intent, was the knee-jerk reaction from Man of Steel, then I think they could have set that up better at least. Can we agree with that?
I thought they set it up fine. I thought seeing it from the view of Batman, seeing this guy that got irrevocably injured and his life ruined by what happened in Metropolis, and seeing the people on the news arguing with each other over whether Superman was to be trusted or not, was set up enough for that idea.
Okay, let's move on. This part's really boring me, mostly because we just pretty much just made a circle. How you hanging, by the way?
I kind of feel bad for... I feel bad for the collateral damage shit. Because I like this is just it's because I'm a loud person. And so when I'm like, no, dude, you're not getting it. It's because of this, right? Like, I feel like I'm fucking screaming at you about fucking Superman. And I'm like, and I feel really bad about it.
Dude, if anything else, it was pretty funny for me. See, that's the thing you never really have to worry about with me, is that I really don't take this stuff personally. Like, I debate with my conservative parents from, like, a left-leaning point of view, like, pretty often, I'd say. So I've kind of disconnected myself from debate and real-life person. I think that's the only way, like, it's healthy.
You can have shit like this.
Yeah, to have, like, conversation. Like, I think we are having a very good conversation so far.
I mean, I feel like we are covering a lot, and we're covering a lot of what I did want to talk about with the movie. I just, like, I don't like when I get like that. And I think it's because I've had a lot of friends in my life who, like, get really touchy and weird and, like, take shit really personally. And they're like, oh my god, like, why are you being so mean to me? And I'm like, dude, I'm not. I'm just fucking saying... I'm just telling you what I think.
That's okay. So, like I said, it doesn't bother me. So
okay, cool. That's the only thing that I've been kind of not feeling cool about. Is I'm like, man, I fucking really yelled about fucking Superman and collateral damage for a while.
I'm gonna title this video, 2 people yell over collateral damage for nearly an hour.
Yeah, yell about collateral damage and Superman.
Alright, I'm taking a quick break.
Cool.
Whew. This is my actual debate thoughts. This is after, I've taken a while to think about it, taking a shower now. I haven't gone and looked back on the recording, but I certainly think that I've taken enough information and breather time to kind of understand that debate. And to say the least, I do not think I handled myself as well as I could be. Mostly because James is very much of a memer when it comes to, like, certain points. Like, I had him on certain questions, and he would just deflect with memes. And memes, my only weakness. Obviously, it's very hard to have that frustration. I think I did good in the first half. I don't think I was necessarily on the winning side when it came to that argument about casualties. Probably, maybe, thinking and rewatching that, I might change my opinion on that, but I think I did a good job defending that point of view, how I did. We got really intense there. But yeah, anything else? Oh yeah, he also came up with these kind of criticisms that really annoy me during debates. Like, you can't respond to some of these points like, I don't know, I didn't write the script, dude. Or, it's like, I don't know, the question's there, I didn't make it. Or, whoa, dude, like, I just got that what it was based off of what was implied. I didn't actually bring up any evidence or something like that. That really kind of ticks me off. Next time he does that, I need to go harder and more in on him. I guess I was kind of burned out during that first chunk, that I really didn't hammer him home on some of those basic, like, dumb arguments. You're not dumb, James, okay? It's just that the arguments that you were making towards the end were pretty simplistic and just like everyone's default when they don't have... Oh, I know another one. It's not a perfect film, dude. And it's like, yeah, I need to debunk that. I did the one time, it's like, oh yeah, every choreography fight ever or something like that. And he was like, every of them has flaws. And it was a good thing that I connected that to Daredevil, because Daredevil has some amazing choreographed fight scenes. So I think that was a good decision. But other than that, I didn't really debunk a lot of his dumber, smaller arguments. Like I said, either I think it was because A, I was burned out, like I've already mentioned, and 2, I don't think I really wanted or cared about those certain arguments, and now making me think back, it kind of makes me look bad in a way. I don't, like I said, I haven't watched the recording yet, but if these are my thoughts after this whole thing happened, then I'm pretty sure I didn't do... here's one thing that I can say for sure. I didn't get anywhere near close as that CRPD gamer debate. I was way... That's funny. That's the funny thing, though. I was more prepared for this debate than I was the CRP gamer debate. And somehow I think I did way worse. And that's really interesting to me because it makes me think that a lot of these arguments aren't based off of how well you can prepare for them. It's actually based off of the person itself. Like, James stuck himself on this hill, and he would not get off of it. And that's kind of the same point. And that's why I think I kind of backed out, is because I saw his confidence, and I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And then moved right along. I think that was really to the detriment of me. Either way, next time I debate with James, it will be a lot different. I'll probably be a lot more aggressive and won't let him get away with some of the stuff that he actually says. Anyway, still love you, James. Still love you. But yeah, all that being said, hope you enjoyed the video. Click the stuff. I don't know. Do the things. Yeah, hurry. I'm such a good YouTuber. I know. Hope you're all having a good day. Peace.